From Destrehan High School, Crescent City Sports is proud to bring you high school football. Tonight it's a key District 7 5A matchup as the undefeated Destrehan Wildcats play host to the East St. John Wildcats. Ken Berthelot, along with Wade Kaiser here at Destrehan, Jim Merritt, our producer, Matt Merritt on camera, and Rick Thompson, our spotter and part-way statistician. And we're ready to go for a good game. One thing we know for sure, one of the Wildcats, there is going to be a Wildcat who's very happy at the end of this game. Will it be Destrehan or East St. John? And the second thing we know is with all of these Wildcats playing against each other, there's going to be some Wildcats on the field with some wild moves. It's Halloween. I had to get it in like that. I had to get it in like that because
you've been thinking about that all week, right?
So, unfortunately, just for the last 15 minutes.
Well, there you go. But you're absolutely right. The thing you're going to see tonight out of these Wildcats, depending on which ones you're looking at in the crimson jersey or in the white jerseys, you're going to see a ton of speed, a ton of athleticism, two well-coached football teams getting after it. And, it's a pivotal game always when these two teams get together in District 7 5A.
Interestingly, Coach Marcus Scott, whose team is undefeated, said he's looking forward to this game because he said, I really don't think we've been pushed to the limit yet, and East St. John will be the fastest team that we have played all year, and that's going to really test us.
Well, the speed of East St. John is always remarkable. I mean, they will test you for sure, and Marcus Scott, what he says is right because he loses the first two ball games of the season due to the hurricane. I shouldn't say losses. He didn't get a chance to play Bonneville or East Ascension. East Ascension definitely would have put a test on him. And then he comes in against the Hahnville, H.L. Bourgeois, Central Lafourche, and Terrebonne, and he puts up points galore on those guys, and their defense is playing well. And 14 points Terrebonne puts on a game that was well in hand already by Destrehan. So it's going to be interesting tonight to see how East St. John's speed is going to kind of see if they can nullify some of the speed that Destrehan has on its defense.
As we look at things from we're having here the opening prayer and the presentation of the colors and our national anthem. Let's listen to the opening prayer.
Which by our words and our actions are pleasing. Help us all to compete with the fairness in our hearts and minds. Lord, give us the grace of success or defeat. Surround the players with your protection from any injuries or mishaps. Father God, watch over and bless those who are displaced and or have experienced loss through the hurricane. We ask that you would turn their situations around. Thank you for watching over and protecting our parents, friends, teachers, coaches, players, and all the spectators that are present here tonight. Let this game be a celebration of sports and be enjoyable for everyone. We pray this prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.
And the presentation of our colors at midfield and our national anthem played by the Destrehan Marching Band. Our national anthem here at Destrehan as Destrehan gets set to take on the East St. John Wildcats. That was performed by the Destrehan Marching Band. Ken Berthelot along with Wade Kaiser, Rick Thompson, our spotter. Chip and Matt Merritt on the controls and camera tonight. And we're set for what should be a pretty exciting football game. Hey, last week we do East Jefferson and Everett. And goodness, one team puts up 444 yards of offense, the other over 300. They're moving the ball up and down the field. The only difference was Everett was able to finish drives and East Jeff wasn't. Tonight you might see the same thing with two teams having the ability to finish drives. The over-under on this one might be 130 or 140. I don't know, man. Yeah,
well, they can definitely both put up points.
Yeah.
Destrehan's defense, though, has done a nice job this year. He's pitching one shutout against H.L. Bourgeois and only – allowing Hawnville to score 7 points on them. Hawnville traditionally can put up points too. So, I know Marcus Scott and his whole defensive staff are really high on the way his defense has been playing so far this year. So it's going to be interesting to see. Like I said, a ton of speed out there tonight. Two really good coaches, two really great offensive staffs that do a great job getting their kids honed in on the schemes that they want to be able to run. And it's going to be interesting to see how the defenses are going to react to the amount of speed that the offense is putting on the field for each team.
And while the captains are meeting at the center of the field for the toss of the coin with the officials, our referee tonight is Chris Forcade. You may have seen on your screen a lot of confetti just swirling around this stadium. The wind is gusting. It was blowing a little while ago out of the northwest, and right now I'm not sure if it's still out of the northwest or just gusting around and twirling around, but whatever happens, the wind anywhere from 12 to 20 miles an hour when it is gusting is going to wreak a little havoc on the passing game, the punting game, and the kicking game.
Well, exactly, and wind's coming out of the north, so that would be on your screen from left to right. And so it's going to be interesting to see how the punting game and the passing game is going to take place. And, you got to learn to adjust with things, and I'm sure that, both coaches have got their kids honed in on making those type of adjustments. It looks like East St. John won the toss and has deferred their option into the second half. So we'll look at Destrehan with the wind in the first quarter.
There you go. So the wind again will be blowing from the left to the right, as Wade just told you, as you watch it with us. And we'll see how the homestanding Destrehan Wildcats can handle it against this great and very fast East St. John Wildcat team. So pair of Wildcats doing battle in the animal kingdom here, and we'll see which Wildcat is the toughest at the end of this one.
Well, we're in for a good one, and this is always a rivalry in this great district, in this River Parish district. And, both of these schools have gone through, with Hurricane Ida, a ton of, and their communities have gone through a ton of destruction. I mean, I'm looking right now at Destrehan High School off to our right. They had the majority of their roof cave in, and, they're platooning over at Hawnville High School every other day going to school. So I feel for the communities in Laplace and in Destrehan, for all the damage that has taken place with the hurricane. But these two teams and these coaches have done a great job making sure that their players are where they're supposed to be and getting them to practice. And there's no way to take your mind off of the woes that you've got from the storm than to get out here and play a great football game tonight.
Elijah Frank to kick it off for the East St. John Wildcats, all in white tonight, and they will squib one down on the ground. It is picked up at the 15-yard line. Big hole, big return. This one may go. It's a foot race, and can he be caught? Just pulled down at the 5-yard line. Brandon Freeman with a great return for the Destrehan Wildcats. Pulled down just in time by Dekai Joseph.
Well, the squib on the ground was the whole reason to try to slow down the speed of the Destrehan returners right there, but it kind of backfired. Boy, I tell you, great blocking at the point of attack right there by the wedge, and then out of nowhere comes number 19, Dekai Joseph, to make the tackle that saves the touchdown, and at least Destrehan's going to have to put the ball in play inside the red zone.
Yeah, that was about an 85-yard return. And now they have it 1st and 10. Give to the running back on the counter going up the middle, and that is going to be Shane Lee, touchdown.
Shane Lee hits the hole hard. He gets his shoulder pad levels low. Great blocking by an offensive line up front of Destrehan. One play, 6 points in the end zone. Here's your replay. Look at the inside zone right there. Hat on a hat. Great job right there walling it off backside, especially by number 74, Cannon Landry. Does a nice job walling off the backside pursuit from his guard position, and it was a clear path into the end zone for Shane Lee.
Brandon Freeman, and I take that back. I said 85. I think that was a 70-yard kickoff return from the 15 to the 15. They didn't mark it at the 5. They marked it at the 15-yard line. But what a great kickoff return to set up the one-play touchdown drive. And quickly, the Destrehan Wildcats show they have some speed too.
Well, like I said, there's speed galore out there on the field. I mean, how about the speed of number 19 from East St. John running down the returner from clear across the other side of the field to make a saving tackle.
Dekai Joseph.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, Dekai Joseph has a tremendous amount of speed too. So there's speed all over this field tonight. So you're going to see it in the special team game. You will see it offensively as well as you will see it defensively.
You might see some on this kickoff return.
How do I say it? They got some cats out there that can run.
We said there'd be some wild cats doing some wild things on this field, and if you thought we were kidding, it just happened on 2 plays, a kickoff return and a one-play 15-yard touchdown run. So 2 players combined to really light it up. Brandon Freeman on the KOR, and then the touchdown by Shane Lee. So the Wildcats kick it, and this one will be deep, and it's a dead ball. It'll come out to the 20.
Well, that one, of course, gets up into the wind, and when you've got the wind like that, which is gusting from the north tonight, like we said, it's going to go out of the end zone if you get it up in that air, and East St. John will start from their own 20-yard line.
Well, when I asked Marcus Scott about his kicker, he said he's a good one. He's got a really strong leg, and he can get it deep and make it hard for opposing teams to get it out. And you give him that with a little bit of wind, and he'll have a lot of teams starting from the edge of their own red zone. So East St. John with the football on first down. That is Joshua Mitchell. And he throws, and wow, what a play. And a good hard hit by Leonard Harris on the intended receiver, Christopher Carew.
Leonard Harris in their 2-deep zone right there. Looks like cover 4. He gets up on top of the corner route ran by the receiver and does a nice job breaking on the ball. That should have been picked right there. He comes in with 12 tackles on the year. He's got some speed. He's got some athleticism. 6'3", 185-pound senior. Safety.
Second down, 10. This time to give. They'll keep it on the ground. Just try it up the middle, and a pretty good gain that time for the Wildcats. And you'll hear a lot of this young man, George Martin, their 5'9" junior running back.
George Martin does a nice job right there following the ISO block of number 16, Devon Davis, up on the linebacker. Gives him a nice little crease in there, and he hits it hard as the sniffer or the fullback comes around, Devon Davis, and does a nice job getting up to the second level and blocking the Destrehan linebacker.
Quarterback Joshua Mitchell on the handoff. They'll keep it again. It worked the first time. Can they get it again with George Martin? He's close. Anthony Robinson hit him hard, but he gets enough for the first down to move the chains. And it's first down, East St. John.
He runs that inside zone right there. He's reading that A and B gap, finds a crease right there, gets his shoulder pads leveled down, and then he comes up and he's met hard by Anthony Robinson right there, but he gets the first down.
This time Cortez Fisher lines up behind Mitchell at quarterback. And he'll take the handoff. Fresh legs in there, and he'll fight his way out to the 34-yard line. Short gain of 2. Stephen Walker with the tackle.
You're going to see a lot of the same similar plays tonight from both teams. They love to run that inside zone. Pound the ball inside the tackles, mix in the counter game, and then when they go outside, they're going to run that outside zone stretch game. They love those plays, whether they do it from under center or they do it from gun. They're going to try to really highlight their tailbacks, and when they have to throw the ball, they're not afraid to throw it either team down the field vertically.
From the 34-yard line. Handoff again. They're just going to keep it on the ground as the Wildcats from East St. John have had success with that. A gain of 2 more up to the 36-yard line. Jacoby Green led a charge.
Destrehan jumps into their odd front that time. See the nose, zero technique, right head up the center right there. Nice job by that center handling number 93, Amari Johnson. Get some push off the offensive line there by that huge offensive line from East St. John. I'm telling you, those guys eat a lot at pregame meal. Look at the size of those guys. That's a big offensive line right there, boys.
Absolutely. We'll talk about it. Let's see if they're going to keep it on the ground for third. And look at this. Fisher has room. He's got the first down. He's got more. He is near midfield where he goes out of bounds. So enough on a good run by Cortez Fisher. Trevon Thomas pushing him out of bounds.
Great job of blocking out there on the edge. No one can come off their blocks to set that edge for the Wildcats of Destrehan. Trying to set that edge right there is number 56 from Destrehan, Kalaj Cobbins, but he just kind of gets knocked off the ball, and then you can see the speed of East St. John. Cortez Fisher gets out on the edge, and once he makes the edge, he's going to get around the corner. He's going to get positive yards.
And those positive yards were 13 big ones, enough to move the chains, and East St. John's drive stays alive here on their first offensive possession with the football. Started back at their own 20. This time Fisher, play action, rolls to the right, escapes trouble. He'll throw out of bounds and had a man there, but had to release that ball a little quicker than he would like to.
Joshua Mitchell had to get off his mark right there. He was feeling pressure from his left by Kalaj Cobbins coming off of his left right there, and he kind of gets shoved down to the ground, but it was just enough to get Joshua Mitchell off his mark and throw the ball errant. So nice job by Kalaj Cobbins right there, getting some pressure on the East St. John quarterback Mitchell.
Cortez Fisher checks in again. Jamiron Urban, the left tackle, left guard Gary O'Neill, Galen Fobb, the center, and he snaps that ball. They'll keep it on the ground to Fisher, and Fisher heads straight up into Destrehan territory at the 47-yard line, a gain of 4.
That's the way you run the stretch play right there. It looks like it's going outside. He plants one foot in the ground right there and makes his cut, gets north and south, finds a crease. He runs that play very nicely. It's the way he puts that foot in the ground, and he can get himself north and south on a dime real fast, which will make you over-pursue as a defense.
Other side of that offensive line, Kyban Fobb at right guard and DeVell Crouch at the right tackle. And that's the way this time Fisher heads behind Kyban Fobb and DeVell Crouch, and he'll have a few more close to the first down marker, but not enough for it. And it'll be 3rd down and 1 for the East St. John Wildcats at the 42-yard line of Destrehan.
Now, this isn't what Destrehan wants to do. Destrehan wants to get these guys off the field as quickly as possible, and East St. John is just grinding this thing out on the ground, kind of controlling the line of scrimmage at this point, making positive yards, and it's going to bring up, I think, fourth down.
Yeah, I said 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, and Fisher's got the first down, so hand it off to Cortez, and again he goes again behind that right side of the offensive line. Kyban Fobb and DeVell Crouch, they opened up the hole, and he went through it and got the first down. Jermaine Stewart with the tackle.
Well, it was 4th down territory. You're punting into a wind. Why not put the ball in the hands of Cortez Fisher, who's been, marquee so far on this particular series, and he picks up his first down.
So at the 39-yard line now. 1st and 10 at the Destrehan 39, penalty, flag on the play. And this will be a false start legal procedure.
Somebody got going a little too soon, so now they're going to work behind the sticks, which isn't what any football team wants to do when they get off of their routine and off their page at first down and looks like 14 or 15.
You've got Joshua Mitchell, a junior quarterback, and you're letting him really get the experience. He's not raw coming into this season, but he's still learning, and he's coming into his own as a quarterback. And Brandon Brown likes what he sees out of this young man, and I like the way he's handling the response to the Destrehan long kickoff return, 70-yard return and then 15-yard touchdown. I really like the way he's just taking the time. Everybody's doing their job. Everybody's executing. And here you're looking at the first negative play on first down, making it second down now and 13. Flags all over the place. And I know East St. John's hoping this is against Destrehan, as Cortez Fisher was thrown for a big loss. Stephen Walker, the first to get there.
I think we got illegal procedure again here. Here it is. Not enough people on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Which is going to be the illegal procedure penalty. We'll mark it off 5 right there. And it's going to bring up, second and 13, if I'm not mistaken there.
Yeah.
Bursting through there was Stephen Walker. Nobody touched him. He met the running back right in the backfield for a huge hit.
Well, they've got to get to the 29-yard line for a first down. So it's third down.
It should be third. Third and 13.
I think it's third. Yeah, third and almost 19, right?
Right.
And Mitchell chased and pulled down from behind by Stephen Walker again. We just called his name, and he is all over the quarterback, Joshua Mitchell, and that's going to force a punting situation for the East St. John Wildcats.
Watch Stephen Walker here get off the ball. Boom, right there. I mean, he's 3 steps up the field before an offensive lineman can get into his set position. Okay, and that offensive lineman, number 64, Gary O'Neill, better get his rear end moving a lot quicker, or Stephen Walker is going to be doing that all night to him.
Kylan Harris punts to Daniel Blood. Blood turns the corner. Here comes that Destrehan speed once again. Wow, what a run back by Daniel Blood on the punt return. My goodness.
I want you to watch the wall get set up by the guys in Crimson over here. Or Garnet, should I say. I said Crimson. It should be Garnet. Nice job with a no block there in the back. Very nicely set up right there. No clips.
Breaking tackles.
Everything's nice and clean. Very well executed.
Finally, Dwayne Brown brings him down, and maybe with a touchdown-saving tackle. But wait a minute, there's a flag down.
Oh, my goodness.
Flag
so
down,
it wasn't clean. So let's see what this flag is.
Yeah.
So there might have been a block in the back in that mess that was kind of right about the 25-yard line. Oh, my goodness. It must have been a block in the back. I thought that looked really clean from our view. Again, you get to see the great speed of Destrehan, and then, all the speed of East St. John chasing them down.
Well, let's see this Destrehan offense. They had one play and scored on a 15-yard run the first time, and now we see Jai Eugene run this at quarterback, and boy, what a fine quarterback he is for this offense. And you'll see Calvin Bullock run that football. He just came out, but still a nice gain of a little over 4. So let's call it a little under 6. They'll try the right side. Patrick LeBranch, and he won't get much on second down. So that brings up third down and short.
They try to attack it outside with the sweep right there. Patrick LeBranch, no place to go. Great pursuit by the guys in the white jerseys. They got a lot of people to the ball real fast. Secondary run support was there in a second. That's the way you play good team defense.
At the 24-yard line. Big hole, and Destrehan's got enough with Patrick LeBranch on the run over the right side. He gets the first down before Dimitri LeBuff is able to stop him, but again, the chains move for the Wildcats from Destrehan.
Nice job on the power O right here. You can see it coming right into your picture. Kick out, seal, lead, block, nice job. Great job by 13 stepping up from his safety position, Dimitri LeBuff, to make sure no farther advance by the running back, Patrick LeBranch, could keep going.
So whistles as the snap takes place. Whistles blow the play dead. let's see what this one's all about. False start.
You know, when you're trying to go quick and you're trying to go tempo, everybody's got to get to where they have to be in unison, right? Yeah. And everybody's got to get still for that one complete second before the ball is snapped. And you see that also on Saturdays. Sometimes you see it on Sundays. When people try to up-tempo really fast, they just don't get lined up as fast, and then all of a sudden they line up. Oh, this isn't where I'm supposed to be. I need to be a little bit wider on my alignment. I need to be a little tighter on my alignment, and then all of a sudden they move, and you got a procedure penalty.
So Jai Eugene with the snap. He'll toss it out to the right side to Kerry Wilson. Wilson gets a few, but not enough of what he needed. However, it's second down coming up in 11. So he's as we look at that replay again, let me get back to the illegal procedure stuff. That's hidden yardage. Yeah.
For a team, plus or minus one way or another, right? And those are things that you can clean up in practice. And we're in week 8, and I know both coaches cringe when they get those illegal procedure penalties because they work on it every day in practice.
Boy, Jai Eugene looks so huge back there, 6'1", 190, but he looks bigger than that. Handoff going nowhere, up to the 30-yard line. So on 2nd and 11, they get 1 to the 30. And it'll be 3rd down and 10. Rayquan Williams. What a player.
Well,
Brandon Brown expects this young man to be. He said he is just slowly developing into something special. A 6'1", 235-pound senior. Kind of came on late and thinks he'll make noise somewhere if he continues to have a pretty good season here. Eugene on the roll. Eugene with the toss, and that is caught over there by Leslie Jefferson. Did he get it?
He was out of bounds, I believe, when he caught the ball.
Out of bounds when he caught the ball. George Smith covering. So the Destrehan Wildcats will be forced to punt. Will Bryant, the kicker, is also the punter.
Good look at
leg, and the very dangerous returner, Kylan Harris, standing back at the 35-yard line of East St. John.
Real good look there at Jai Eugene. He's a left-hander rolling out to his left right there. Ball just kind of curved away from the receiver and went out of bounds.
Their catch called for and made by Kylan Harris on the run. Good hands.
Nice job by Kylan Harris judging the ball with the wind right there, because that ball takes off when it's up in the air like that with that gust of wind behind it. He does a nice job chasing it down with a nice catch, making sure it doesn't hit the ground and roll for hidden yardage.
Remember, the wind is coming from the northwest, so it's going to blow to the stands on the other side, but it's also coming from the north. And I got to tell you, it's kind of swirling out there at times. We've seen confetti swirl around almost like it's in a little upper level vortex. Wouldn't call it too weathery for you?
Did you do weather at one time at WDSU?
No, never.
Wasn't that you?
Right side for a yard or two. Cortez Fisher on the run, but he won't get much.
I mean, I know you've done a little of it all, right? I mean, I know you've done sports, you've done news.
Was in the 278 market, Alexandria, Louisiana. My second job in television, and that was a move up from the 300th market.
And you've got nothing on Nash Roberts. Nothing.
The upper level vortex was my favorite.
The upper level vortex. Is that like the bomb cyclone, right?
Yes, it's now replaced by the bomb cyclone. 2nd down, 11. Scrambling around, and he lets it go. Is that going to be considered a forward pass out of bounds to save it? Jacoby Green really putting on the pressure and the hit.
They're talking about it right now.
Yeah.
Okay, but look at the pressure. Look at the guys in Garnet get off the ball right there. Here comes 56 off the edge right there for Destrehan. You can see how Kalaj Cobbins 3 steps into, and they called grounding. All right. So that's going to be a loss of down right there, and it's going to now be 3rd down. But Kalaj Cobbins is 3 steps before the tackle gets out of his stance up the field. So he's getting that edge now, right? If you're on that edge, it's Katie bar the door. That quarterback can't stand in there and stand on his spot. Nice job by Kalaj Cobbins getting off the ball. That's number 56. That's the right outside linebacker or defensive end in this particular look as they get down in their 4-man front.
Well, it's 3rd down and 28. And this time they'll try once again to Cortez Fisher, but not enough speed to bet him. But hold everything. Flags are down again, so let's see. That might help the East St. John Wildcats get some of that yardage back. Trevon Thomas with the tackle.
I want you to watch 56 Clyde's comments. He is going to get pulled to the ground right here by the tight end or fullback, and that's where the holding penalty is going to come.
Yeah.
I think they got Devon Davis. Kalaj Coffins is so quick. I'm really impressed by this guy. He gets off blocks. He's running. He would have ran there and set the edge if he could have gotten off the hold, but coming up and cleaning things up was Trevon Thomas from his secondary position to make a nice hit, which is going to bring up 4th down.
4th and forever. So they'll hit the punt. And that'll be Kylan Harris, the fine wideout, who also serves as the punter. And doing well, averaging almost 36 yards a punt. And do we have a timeout being called here? Still 1:19 to play in the first quarter.
I believe we have a timeout called by the Wildcats. All right. If I'm not mistaken, that should have been a timeout called by East St. John.
I think
they didn't have right. I think they didn't have a person on the field, so they called timeout before they got or they had too many people on the field. They had a personnel issue before they got the flag. They called timeout.
Yes. And if you're coming into the game late and you're actually walking into the stadium and you look up at the scoreboard, it says Wildcats 7, Wildcats nothing.
Right.
And so you say, surely the Wildcats, where the scoreboard was sitting on the other side, that would, in other words, the Wildcats on the left, closest to the visiting side, that would be their score. No, the scoreboard's reversed. Almost blocked it. He just gets it off. It bounces and will be picked up and just quickly going down. Late flags all over the place.
I think we're going to have a block in the back by somebody from Destrehan, as we saw a white jersey all of a sudden just go flying past Blood right there after he slipped down.
Slipped down, and they'll chat about this one. Again, our referee tonight is Chris Forcade.
Can't quite see it right there, so but there's your block in the back right there, and it'll be marked off from the spot of the foul. And here we go. Destrehan starting from their
Destrehan's going to start from their own 41-yard line. They've had real good field position. This is their third possession with the football in this game, and immediately flags go down to the snap of the football. We've got a false start on the Destrehan Wildcats. So the game starts with a bang. On the opening kickoff, which was squibbed by East St. John, it was picked up by Dwayne Brown, and he returned it some 70 yards all the way down to the 15-yard line of East St. John. One play later, boom, a score. And I want to remind everybody that the first quarter of this game is brought to you by Lamarck Ford. Crescent City Sports Prep Football is always brought to you by Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner. Not only Ford, but the entire complex. Tell you about it right after this play. On first down, handoff, and Brandon Freeman runs left and will end up losing 1 yard on the play. The Lamarck Collision Center also makes the repair process easy, and with our state-of-the-art equipment and certified technicians, it'll be done right. We repair all makes and models at Lamarck, Crescent City Sports, and the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner. Very special time.
That was a great play by Ja'Cory Robertson getting out there to make a tackle for a loss, and it's going to bring up 2nd and 12.
Jai Eugene on the roll, has a man on target, and a well-caught ball by Calvin Bullock, covered by Caden Henderson.
East St. John sitting in a third deep secondary. Destrehan runs a flood route, three-man flood route. You're going to see a high receiver, a mid-level receiver, and a flat receiver, or a low receiver. And Eugene puts the ball right on the money to number 1, Calvin Bullock, who was the mid-level out, the deep out right there on the boundary. Nice throw, nice catch.
Jai Eugene this time, and once again, flags fly. And once again, false start.
Well, they're getting false starts out there. Somebody's either off on their alignment, off on the cadence. Somebody's leaning on the offensive line. They were trying to get around to get up onto the linebacker, so they rocked backwards real quick. Just not in sync right there. Those are things that they've got to clean up, and I'm sure Marcus Scott's going to let his team know about that when he gets the opportunity to talk to them as a whole at halftime.
Nearing the end of the first quarter, 19 seconds in the first quarter, and let's see.
Well, I think he's going to talk to them about that right now.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So we've got.
And I don't think he's going to wait till halftime. Look at him. He's very animated. So.
Yeah.
And I would be too. That's, I think, the third or fourth one tonight that we've seen in the stadium. That's the third one, I believe, on Destrehan.
Yep. So each team has called one of their timeouts here in the first quarter with 14 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Destrehan leading it 7-0. We said the play, this game started with a bang. But since then, it's just been back and forth, and neither team has really been able to do too much against the other's defense.
Look, that's one of those, I'm calling timeout, I'm tired of seeing this stuff, right?
Right.
I need to have a word. And I'm sure the words weren't as, the way I would have said them over the air.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I'm handling that very delicately.
And you did well.
Thank you.
So Jai Eugene on the roll, on the toss, and it was too low. He had the man open. He just couldn't get the ball to him. Incomplete. Fourth down.
Running to his left, rolling to his left. He's a left-hander. He needed to get his shoulder square to the line of scrimmage. Could have put a little bit more oomph on the ball, should we say. Great job with the turn protection by Destrehan. Route wide open. Just couldn't get the ball to the receiver right there. Needed to get his shoulders around square to the line of scrimmage. He would have been able to put that thing on the money.
Well, it was fourth down. We said that. And then the downs marker went back from fourth to third. So this is fourth down, punting situation. 4th and 6 at the Destrehan 45. 8 seconds to play in the first quarter. Will Bryant should have a little bit of the wind to help him out here. He's got time and takes time. As the rush got close, this will back up Kylan Harris, who wisely lets it go, and it'll be downed at the 10-yard line.
Well, Destrehan's still using that old tight punt formation. It's really good to see. I hadn't seen that in a while. I know when I come out to Destrehan to do a game, I get to see that tight punt formation right there. A lot of pressure was put on by East St. John. Almost got there to be able to block him.
Again, want to thank Crescent City Sports. Thanks Lamarck Ford for their sponsorship, and always the sponsor of the first quarter of play, Lamarck Quick Lane Services. All makes and models, batteries, tires, oil changes, and more. All done quickly while you enjoy some popcorn. Must be a reason. I love the way Ronnie says on TV, must be a reason. So
there must be a reason.
Must be a reason.
That he says must be a reason.
You bet. Well, we played one quarter. Destrehan has the lead 7-0. The way this game started, you would have thought it might have been about 20-20 right now. But the defenses have set in, and they've been, especially St. John, they've been able to limit after that first long kickoff return and then 15-yard run for a touchdown. They've been able to limit them just about to one big play, and otherwise they've been able to bottle up this offense. So East St. John tries to get it going. There won't be much on first down, as once again they go back to George Martin.
Well, East St. John opens up the second quarter with the wind at their back, so it'll be interesting to see if Brandon Brown and his offensive staff open up their offense a little bit and throw the ball vertically down the field. put a little more pressure on that secondary, who is tightening down versus the East St. John running game. They're trying to get more people, more of those jerseys, dark jerseys, down into the box.
Now, one thing that's not working is running right now against that Destrehan defensive line. Jermaine Stewart says, no, you guys aren't moving into this line at all right here. And George Martin tried it again and got nothing again.
Watch Jermaine Stewart, number 8. Nice job from his linebacker position. He gets a clear read right there. Clear means that it's there's nobody in the hole. His job is to step up and be gap sufficient. He does a nice job right there taking on the running back and stopping him for no gain. 6'1", 205-pound senior Jermaine Stewart comes in with 15 tackles. Here's another
Third down and 8. Quick throw by Joshua Mitchell. Left side, he missed his man. Dekai Joseph may have not gotten the first, even if Dekai got it. I'm not sure if he had enough room to turn the corner and move the chains.
Well, you got to run it. You got to run your route at the sticks, right? And the route is short. Destrehan was sitting in a 2 high coverage that time. 1 high coverage that time. Strong safety does a nice job getting out underneath the out route right there, but the ball was a little errant.
So Kylan Harris, again, that fine wide receiver, also serves as the punter. Will stand at his 1 yard line. Good snap, big rush, flags are thrown. A wobbly end over end punt that's going to get an East St. John roll, and it'll roll past the 40, the East St. John 40, up to the 44-yard line, or 43-yard line. I think they'll down it at the 43. Let's take a look.
You're going to have an illegal procedure penalty on East St. John, so they're going to – Destrehan will have the option.
That.
Right, a lot of them again. East St. John will have an option to either kick it again 5 yards back or take the ball where they are and decline the penalty.
Good field position right here at the 43-yard line. But they're going to choose to move them back.
Well, I would too. I'd back them up, and if I get a chance to put the ball in my returner's hands with the speed he has and the job I do with my special teams, I would let them take another shot at it. And this is that hidden yardage again that I talk about each week.
Yeah, this is going to move Kylan Harris 5 yards deep in his own end zone to punt for the East St. John Wildcats. And the very dangerous Daniel Blood stands right now at the 34-yard line of East St. John. Big rush. They just got it off. My goodness, that was close. And it'll check and then take a Destrehan roll, backing up inside the 30-yard line. They'll down it right there at the 30 where it was touched. And at the East St. John 30, Destrehan has absolutely great field position.
Well, that's the hidden yardage that I'm talking about right there. So you take the penalty, right? Let them punt again. And look now.
Stephen Walker puts the pressure on. Wait, how many times have we called his name tonight?
Right. And once again, you look, they're starting instead of at the 40-yard line where they were going to on the previous punt, now they're starting at the 30. So that's a plus 10 yards in hidden yardage that Destrehan is going to make up by making them punt again. You're right. Stephen Walker gets off the ball so fast, he's almost on the punter. I don't know how he missed the ball.
Hand off to Trey Nixon, new back in the game, and he's got running room. And Trey Nixon inside the 20-yard line with an 11-yard gain, and that'll move the chains for a first down.
Trey Nixon does a nice job running the sweep, getting outside, and then getting his shoulder pads on the edge for a nice gain.
George Smith with the tackle. And Destrehan with great field position.
Nice job again by big number 74, Landon Cannon, 6'2", 350, sophomore.
Yeah,
right guard getting out there on the edge.
We haven't talked about this Destrehan offensive line yet and mentioned them, and we have to do that here in the second quarter. Straight ahead. Patrick LeBranch, I believe. No, Kane Adams. So we're seeing number 1, Calvin Bullock, come out of the game. He and Daniel Blood, 2 of the top receivers. But right now you look for Destrehan probably to keep it on the ground. They're having success. They're moving the chains. They're moving downfield. And they're wearing out a little bit and getting more and more tired, this East St. John defensive front. So what do I say? They're going to keep it on the ground? No. Quickly, a quick pass and the completion out to the 11-yard line. Very close to another first down, but it'll be just a little bit short.
That was a call down from the box. They do the check with me over there. Look at the cushion that the receiver has from the East St. John corner at the top of the screen. That's like stealing candy on Halloween night, on Sunday night right there, right? The guy's already 10 to 12 off of him. All you have to do is run 4 or 5 steps on a quick hitch, throw the ball out there, get your shoulder pads north and south, and you're looking at 3rd and short.
And the give, and again, straight up Shane Lee.
There was a fumble there. It looks like he was already down.
I thought he was down before he dropped it, but let's see. Didn't see anything come out. Take a look at it on replay.
So there's your power play kick out, the seal right there. You can see Daniel Lee right there, or Shane Lee right there, getting himself north and south right there, and he was down. That ball squirted out when he was on the turf already.
Yeah. But it's 1st and goal now for Destrehan. Leslie Jefferson, way down at the bottom of your screen. One of the top receivers has been very quiet in this game. Let's see. Does Eugene go his way?
Got whistles down there. I don't see a
whistles,
flag.
I don't see a flag, but the officials have blown it.
Delay a game. 40-second clock ran out. Backing them up 5. Again, another costly mistake. At this stage of the game, you shouldn't have the procedure penalties. You shouldn't run into delay game penalties. The transition from box to field, field to player needs to be seamless.
Shane Lee is the running back. He'll get the handoff. He's got some room. Bounces off a tackle. Breaks another. Pulls somebody with him inside the 5. He won't go down and finally does at about the 3-yard line. Let's see where they mark it. But what a run by Shane Lee. Dimitri LaBeouf finally tied him up down low and brought him down. But what a run, Wade.
Nice run with the counter blocking right there. Again, big number 74 gets a log block right there on the East St. John defensive line. It does a nice job sealing him off inside. Log means hooking him around. He does a nice job. The backside kicker comes through, kicks out, and Shane Lee gets north and south, and they're inside the 5 knocking on the door again.
Let's see if they let Shane Lee finish it off. Jai Eugene, yes, he'll hand it off to Shane Lee. Left side, hit, bounces off, and then forwards his way, pushes his way into the end zone for the touchdown. Destrehan Wildcats touchdown. Cody Robertson had a shot to get him, but he just pushed past him after bouncing off and scored the TD.
Shane Lee, 5'8", 205-pound, talented southpaw. Look at him run hard inside in between the tackles. He gets his shoulder pad level down, and he just blasts his way in. He comes in with 24 attempts running on the night with 263 yards. He has an 11-yard average coming into this football game tonight.
Will Bryant with the PAT. No good.
Wow, he just must have pushed that off to the right.
He missed it, yeah. Wow. So 13-0 Destrehan leading. You don't see that from Will Bryant too much. The leg he's got, he's usually Mr. Automatic, but not so. So 13-0 Destrehan with the lead over East St. John. 6 minutes and 40 seconds here at Destrehan, playing in a stiff northwest wind that looks like it's blowing more as a westerly wind right now, and it's wreaking a little havoc with anything put up in the air, punts and kicks, but Destrehan has been able to handle that, and they lead it. I
think he just pushed that thing right there, didn't get his plant foot down right, and just made a mistake and just shanked the ball, kind of like your 9-iron. Right?
Shane Lee. I wish I could get my 9-iron that high.
There you go.
So the kickoff by Bryant.
Wow, that's into the wind and into the wind and into the end zone.
Yes,
this guy's got a leg.
And again, that's why Marcus Scott will tell you, hey, he's a good one. He's a good one. Just has to settle down and be a little more steady, but a real good one. He's a senior, and he'll be kicking for somebody on Saturdays next fall.
Well, it's time for East St. John. They've got to answer here. They've got to get something going offensively that's consistent against this really stout Destrehan defense. So they need to mix things up a little bit more. Doing a nice job with the running game, but they got to put in the play action stuff. They've got the wind to the back. Let's see if they come out this series and kind of mix the ball up a little bit.
Joshua Mitchell at quarterback. He'll hand off to Cortez Fisher, and Cortez met boom, nowhere to go.
Well, absolutely nowhere to go right there. If I'm not mistaken, that looked like Rayquan Williams coming off his edge to make that play. Look at him right here. Clear call, bang. Gets off the block, nice job. Great tackle for a loss.
At the 16-yard line, 2nd down, 14. Boy, this Destrehan defense is starting to flex its muscle a little bit, so Mitchell will try to drop back and he throw over the top. Intended for, when he held up, tried to get it, and Kylan Harris couldn't pull it in. Kevin Adams covering. It was underthrown, but Harris waited for it, slowed down, and just couldn't hold on.
Coverage was there, just couldn't get the ball to him. He's actually looking to the left side of the field, and he comes back to his right to the vertical route right there. Ooh, little hole, little handsy in there by number 7, Kevin Adams. But safeties do a good job staying on top of the deep route right there for an incomplete.
You notice there were a couple of red jerseys close to Kylan Harris. You're not going to see too many situations where he's covered one-on-one. He's that good, and if you can get him some help out there, you do it. 3rd down, 14, hit from the back as he throws. Ball's loose. I think it went out of bounds, and it did.
Well,
wait a minute. Now we've got coaches in the press box saying, and it is.
You know who that is? You know who that is getting off the ball? Kalai Cobbins. Watch him get off the ball. He gets home really quick. These guys in these garnet jerseys up front, these defensive linemen, man, they really get off the ball, and you know. His first 2 steps, like I said, the tackle hasn't even got into his set steps yet before Kalaj Cobbins was on his edge and around the edge, and Shia Mitchell just couldn't set his feet through the football.
And look at the field position at the 9-yard line with a 13-0 lead. The Destrehan Wildcats at the East St. John 9-yard line with the opportunity to stretch that into a 3-touchdown lead if they can finish it here. This time, the quarterback will keep Jai Eugene himself and finally push back. He didn't want to go down. Rayquan Williams, and he dropped it. He fumbled it, and that ball goes over to East St. John.
I think that ball was ripped out of his hands.
Been ripped out.
Yes, let's see on the
replay. Closer look on replay here.
I think by Rayquan Williams. There's the quarterback read, an ISO right there. And look at them tug. Oh, the ball's out, absolutely.
Ball's out, absolutely. No doubt about that being a fumble and a recovery. And East St. John finds a way to stop him by getting the turnover right back, forcing the turnover, getting the football right back.
Well, credit Rayquan Williams right there. The defense held up the running back. He's taught real well by his defensive coaches. When the running back is held up, start ripping at that ball and start trying to strip the ball. Nice job by Rayquan Williams.
Well, 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line, deep in their own territory, but they got the ball back, and this time they're going to throw. Almost picked off and intended for Kylan Harris. Wow, Anthony Robinson almost stepped in front of that one, and it would have been easy sailing to the end zone.
Joshua Mitchell is looking at Kylan Harris all the way down the field, so the safeties are just taking his cue off Mitchell's eyes right there, and they break on the ball really fast. I'm surprised that was not picked. 3 guys around it right there. In a minute, that ball should have been picked and gone back the other way, and it was real close. Had to look off that safety a little bit, needed to look maybe at another route. Don't look at your receiver the whole time. And then come back in, and you say, well, that's a hard thing to do. But he's taught that, especially on a deep ball like that.
Well, the good news is they get 2nd and 10 out of this. That's Cortez Fisher on the carry. He won't get much. He'll get a little bit, but that's going to still make it 3rd and pretty long here. He'll pick up about 3, maybe 2. Let's see where he's at. Actually, they'll move it back to no gain.
Jermaine Stewart comes up from his linebacker position off the edge this time. They brought a little blitz, a little run blitz that time, and Jermaine Stewart steps right in there and makes the tackle. He's had a nice night so far in this first half.
Yeah, he really has.
He, Kalijah Cobbins, these guys up front, that is as stout as a front seven that I think I've seen this year.
3rd down 10 for East St. John. They've got to move these chains. They won't put it in the air, though. They'll keep it on the ground, and that's nowhere. Hit a brick wall, and George Martin's being pushed back. Patrick Rojas led that charge, and that'll bring up a punting situation for the East St. John Wildcats.
Watch Patrick Rojas right here. He steps in there, gets that clear call right into the hole, steps up and just cleans it up, meets the running back in the hole with a very nice form tackle. Patrick Rojas comes in with 22 tackles on a night and 1 interception. He just got another tackle to his total.
Now Kylan Harris will have the punt. Low snap, flag thrown. Harris in trouble, trying to run, loses the ball in the end zone. It's loose, and I don't think this is going to count anyway, but no matter what, it's a touchdown. Or Destrehan comes up with the ball.
Well, we're going to see what the flag is. I'm a bet it's illegal. Right, I think it's illegal procedure. Well, let's see what happens here. So if it's illegal procedure on the punt team, it's going to be declined, obviously, by Destrehan.
Yes.
There it is.
Illegal procedure against
the punt team. It's going to be declined. All right.
Touchdown.
Let's talk about this for a second. If you get a bad snap or you drop the snap as a punter in the end zone, do you want to give up 7 or 2? The thing that you need to be taught is you want to give up the 2. Get the ball out the back of the end zone right now, right? You would rather give up a safety than 7 points. So when we get a chance to look at the replay again on it, which I'm sure we will, we got a swing and gate by Destrehan right here. We'll get back to this punt situation in a minute.
Going to try to get 2 out of it, and they'll flip it around. Throws it into the end zone. Touchdown. The extra point is good. Pardon me.
Holy cow. Wow. There you go.
They got the 2.
All right, so here we go. Not very well defended. Look at the swing and gate right here. It comes back as the reverse. Number 16 is going to throw the ball out of the backfield right there. That's Ross Rogan. He's a quarterback, also a halfback for Destrehan, so he can throw the football, 6 foot, 194 pounds, to the receiver who was not even covered over on that side of the end zone. Okay, let's go back to the punt for a minute because I need to talk about this for our folks at home and also any young folks that are players out there that are watching this telecast, all right, this broadcast. Do you want to give up 2 or do you want to give up 7? The question is, how many points you want to give up? Well, The answer is you want to give up the 2. So you teach your punters during the week, if you fumble the ball in the end zone, slap the ball away out the back of the end zone. Give up the 2 at all cost. That didn't happen right there, and it turned into a huge, huge turnover and mistake for East St. John, and 7 points plus a 2-point conversion for Destrehan.
Will Bryant gets it to the end zone again. Not on the fly, but it got there nonetheless against the wind, which was a good kickoff by him. And the end result of all of that was a touchdown, 2-point conversion to make up for the missed extra point after touchdown number 2. And Destrehan leads it 21-0.
Well, East St. John's got to get on the board before halftime. With 3:52 on the clock, they've got to do something offensively to start moving the ball against this really strong Destrehan defense. They've got to get some positive things going forward right now.
They've tried some long-range passes and some short passes, but they haven't some real short ones, and they haven't tried that mid-range pass yet. They might find some success there, even though the first pass here to Dekai Joseph hits him, but he can't hold it. Wouldn't have gotten much anyway. 2nd down 10.
Got to hold on to that ball. They need some positive things going forward. Let's just start with getting a first down. That's the first thing they need to do. Let's get back to some mixed plays here, some runs, some passes. I like how they came out on first down right there and threw an underneath the coverage route to Dekai Joseph. It's just got to get caught. Nice protection that time by the East St. John offensive line.
Second down, 10. Here comes pressure right off the bat. Quick throw to Kai Joseph again. He has it, and is brought down by Leonard Harris.
Patrick Rojas came from his linebacker blitz right there, and he got home. Nice job by Mitchell, hanging in there, taking the hit, and delivering the ball for the completion.
So at the 24-yard line, third down with the clock running. I'm in 3:25 and counting.
I'm really impressed with this team speed on defense from Destrehan. These guys in these garnet jerseys can flat run. They cover a lot of ground quick.
Big play on third down to move the chains for East St. John. He's going to throw it long. He's looking for Kai Joseph again, but he's in double coverage, overthrown, not close, and it'll bring up a punting situation for the East St. John Wildcats. Leonard Harris and Anthony Robinson had him well covered, had Joseph well covered.
Destrehan jumps into a man-free look. Their man underneath with the free safety off the top. Nice job by Anthony Robbins, the free safety getting across the top to help Leonard Harris, the corner, with some inside-out coverage help right there. Again, speed. Speed from a free safety from the middle of the field getting across the top, the vertical route.
Low snap. Colin Harris has to pick it up off the ground and hurry up his gunk. He's run into, and a flag is thrown. So this could be roughing the kicker.
Well, we'll see if it's personal foul or if it's running into.
Just
Here we
running
go.
into the kicker. It looked more like running in, but let's see, because had quite a number of maroon jerseys around him. Take a good look here.
It's not personal foul. They're calling running into the kicker. He drops the ball again on the snap. He's taking his eyes off the ball. So it'll be a 5-yard penalty. I don't think that's going to give him a first down.
Crescent City Sports Prep Football is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, who has all the gear you need to enjoy more sports and outdoors at prices you will love. And with curbside pickup available now, it's never been easier to shop the top brands in-store and online at academy.com. One of the new sponsors here at Crescent City Sports. Glad to have them. Academy Sports, fun place to visit when you're in store. Great place to shop online. Great prices either way. And you can spend the day in Academy, like we said last week, and have a great time.
Well, that's where I get my golf balls. I think we had that conversation last time, didn't we?
You didn't throw any last week, did you, on Saturday? Okay, just wanted to make sure. Good.
Just don't hit them straight.
Well, at the 41-yard line, will Destrehan be happy to take a 21-0 lead into the halftime locker room and just run out the final 2:40 here, or will they go for it all and try to get more points on the board?
Well, they run the play right there. Brandon Freeman, a junior running back, drops the ball on the handoff, picks it up, and tries to sprint out there to his right. No place to go. Nice job setting the edge over there by East St. John.
Seen a number of running backs used, a lot of depth on this Destrehan team. They've used Shane Lee, Patrick LeBranch, Trey Nixon, Brandon Freeman, and that's a lot of people in there. There's the throw to Blood. He's got it. He's got the first down. Drop the football. Is it a catch and fumble out of bounds, or did he just drop it over there?
It's a catch, fumble out of bounds. It'll come back slightly from where he was tackled, so it will bring up third down. A lot of cushion given to Blood over there, and I understand why. He's got so much speed. Ball pops out right there as he's going down.
Got to get a man off the field.
So you take what you're given, right? So if you're giving up 10 yards of cushion, you're going to take the short passes, and a guy like Blood can catch the ball and run for days.
That was Dylan Ward, another back coming off the field. That's how much depth this Destrehan team has. They're just going to run it up the middle, and let's see if they do try to strike. They do get the first down and move the chains with 1 minute 53 seconds to play of the half.
Running the inside zone again right there. Sitting in the backfield for East St. John was big number 74, Darrell Dagree. Kind of made the play bounce to the right and to the outside.
At the 44-yard line. This one, Freeman again on the right side. Good positive yardage from the running backs on most of these plays.
Got a flag out on the boundary over there. Look for a holding call, most likely. Turns into the outside stretch right there. Nice job by Brandon Freeman reading his blocks out on the edge. There comes the flag on the ground. I think we're going to have a hold on the edge out there by a Destrehan receiver.
I want to remind everybody that as halftime approaches, we will take a look at scores at halftime from around the state, and you can get the most complete and up-to-the-date Louisiana Prep football scoreboard anywhere at CrescentCitySports.com, presented, as always, by the All-State Sugar Bowl.
So it was a holding penalty. They're going to bring it back from the spot of the foul. And you're going to look at first and a long way.
First and about 17.
And we got a timeout
called. I believe this is a timeout by Destrehan with 1 minute 20 seconds. You're 51 yards away from pay dirt, but you've got a field goal kicker, even though he would be kicking into the wind here. He's got a strong leg. If he's accurate, he could give you 3 more points before halftime.
Well, I think more than anything else, this is more of a timeout and a conversation for Marcus Scott to have with the white hat, Mr. Forcade. And I think he might be talking about where the spot of the ball should be. Or they're discussing dinner plans. I don't know, but he's having quite the conversation out there as the offense comes out on the field. So why not waste the timeout and discuss dinner plans?
You know, we're going to have to find a sponsor who will sponsor
dinner plans.
Dinner plan conversations between coaches and the white hat.
Yeah, this is a Brennan's dinner plan conversation. There you go. I'm not giving a plug for Brennan's, but I'm just throwing that out there as a New Orleans treat, right?
Absolutely. And if there was Snacks at Academy, hey, they're the second quarter sponsor.
I think
here.
one
They
of
go
our
in for a popcorn
I think
snack.
one of our Crescent City sponsors is Amori Pizza. That's Amori Pizza, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe they can sponsor a pizza or something for this. I mean, look, it's a great conversation those guys are having out there.
Check out all the new Crescent City Sportsmakers podcasts presented by Southland Plumbing Supply. This week's episode features the man fresh off his 600th career coaching victory, J.T. Curtis of John Curtis Christian School. You can catch a new episode every Thursday. Get it at CrescentCitySports.com, or better yet, subscribe to Crescent City Sportsmakers Podcast through your favorite podcast provider.
You know, a lot of times head coaches go out there and argue with an official. They know they're not going to make any headway. They just got to get it off their chest. I'm just telling you just got to get it off your chest, you know. And the guy in the white hat and the really good ones will sit there and nod and yes, thank you very much for your input. All right, here we go. Let's go play. We're not changing anything, right?
First and 17 at their own 49, working against the clock, end time. Little short pass complete. They'll get some of that lost yardage back down to the 45-yard line of East St. John. They may mark that closer to the 46. Clock running, 107, 106, 105. Destrehan quickly to the line. Second down, 12. Can they get close enough for a field goal try by the very strong-legged Will Bryant? He's going to throw it long. They're going for it all right here. He's got a man, and he just can't get it to him, but it was a nice run and throw.
Well,
close.
Jaden Porter over there is given 10 yards to Daniel Blood, the receiver, right? So Jai Eugene is looking back to his left, no place to go. He gets the pressure right there from 54. Rayquan Williams looks up and sees his speedy receiver, Daniel Blood, with 3 steps on the corner, Jaden Porter. Let's throw it out there. It just wasn't on target.
Third down, 12, 46-yard line. Less than a minute, 50 seconds to play in the half. Jai Eugene backing up, under pressure. He'll just throw it down into the turf. And that maybe was the safe, smart play.
It was. It was the smart play. They were trying to set up a screen, okay? Nobody was there. The screen's covered. Throw it at his feet. Come back and play another down. Don't give up the interception.
Thomas putting on some pressure. Look at that. Here comes Rayquan.
Right. Rayquan Thomas
Get rid of it.
Rayquan Thomas getting off the mark right there. They got the screen set up. Nobody open. Great job by a East St. John defense right there. Throw the ball away. Don't make a mistake at this stage of the game. Nice job by Jai Eugene. A nice job by Rayquan Thomas applying the pressure there. Or
Will
Rayquan
Bryant.
Williams, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Will Bryant, punting. from his own 40, and they down it. The coaches weren't happy. They wanted to let that ball roll further down. You might have heard them yelling on the other side of the press box. They wanted to get another 5-8 yards out of that, but with 35 seconds left at that point, punt returner Kalen Harris wasn't going to touch it. So East St. John at the 15-yard line, their own 15-yard line, 85 yards away, 35 seconds to play in the half. What do you do, Wade?
Down here with the football. Down here, right? I'm just going to kneel that thing out. I want to go in I want to go in and regroup things. I don't want to give up a cheap one within 35 seconds with some sort of turnover or mistake.
Well, next best thing. If you're not going to kneel it out, you're just going to hand it off for a safe play. And look at that, the ball comes out, but he was down. And that's why you kneel it out and don't necessarily hand it off and try a run, because you know the defense is going to try to strip it, and they did. But after he's down.
You've got to get your guys
Stephen
back in
Walker,
there.
Who else?
Right, you got to get them back in there. You got to get them regrouped and come back out and play a better second half, especially offensively.
Well, even if he was down, that got the crowd excited just a little bit to see it. And the clock runs down. 3-2-1. That is the end of the half, and East St. John wisely let that run out. I think we'll make the decision to do exactly what Wade just said. Go regroup, because they have not been able to move against this defense, this Destrehan defense, especially in this second quarter. So at halftime, it's 21-0. The Destrehan Wildcats with that rip-roaring first two plays of this game. The great punt return from the, I believe it was about the 15. Did he pick it up at the 25 or the 15 now? Picked it up at the 15-yard line and returned it all the way down to the 15-yard line. A 70-yard kickoff return by Dwayne Brown. And then on the first play after that, it was the touchdown, 15-yard touchdown run. And Destrehan was up in the game at that point, 7-0.
Well,
and they never looked back.
Right, they haven't looked back, and they're also shutting down a pretty good East St. John offense. I said coming into this game that Destrehan has put up some nice numbers defensively, right? And they're showing why. You know, they've already pitched a shutout. They pitched a 7-point game. They pitched a 6-point game. These guys can play defense, and I am impressed by their team speed on defense and what they're doing against the speed of East St. John.
Yeah, and again, that's what that's what Marcus Scott had talked about. He said, this is going to be the fastest team we have played. It's going to be a great test for our defense. We have to pass this test if we want to advance as far as we can or all the way to the state championship game. He says, this is going to be the test. And I'd say in the first half, the Destrehan defense has passed the test. And they had, I think, an answer for just about everything that East St. John threw at them in the first half of this ball game. East St. John did have a few opportunities, but credit the Destrehan defense. They were there to make the stops and really get physical with this very speedy East St. John.
Well, East St. John's first offensive drive of the night, okay, I think ran off 4 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, got down and sputtered down inside the 30-yard line. It was a very impressive drive, mixed the run, the pass nicely. Destrehan comes back after that, makes nice adjustments, and have just shut them down since then.
Yeah. So we're going to also be looking at some scores in just a little while. I want to remind everybody that the scoreboard updates you can get at CrescentCitySports.com are the best anywhere in the state of Louisiana, maybe the best in the nation. As we take a look at scores from around the state in just a little while, you can get the most complete and up-to-date Louisiana prep football scoreboard anywhere at CrescentCitySports.com, presented by the All-State Sugar Bowl. And I want to thank Academy Sports and Lamarck Auto Complex for being the sponsors of our first two quarters of this game. Academy has all the gear you need to enjoy more sports and outdoors, all at prices you'll love, and with curbside pickup available now, it's never been easier to shop the top brands in-store and online at academysports.com. And thanks to our first quarter sponsor, Lamarck Ford, Lamarck Quick Lane Services, all makes and models, batteries, tires, oil changes, and more, all done quickly while you enjoy some popcorn. And as Ronnie says, and we love the way he says it on his television commercials, must be a reason. Must be a reason. And it is. Well, Wade's going to go over just a few scores.
Well, we'll start with some scores, especially around the state and some of the bigger games tonight. And up in Shreveport, Captain Shreve is down to C.E. Bird 28-10. Over in the city of New Orleans, Holy Cross Brother Martin, big rivalry. If anybody hasn't followed the news this week, everybody's seen what happened with Brother Martin, who had to forfeit a few games at the beginning of the season, and which has kind of changed the whole complexity of Division I as far as placements on the playoff bracket in another 2 weeks. And Brother Martin is up 21-0 in the second quarter over Holy Cross. McKinley is down 17-0 to East Ascension. St. Paul's is down 3-0 to Ponchatoula. Big game on the North Shore with two huge a big rivalry right there between Ponchatoula and St. Paul. Ponchatoula up 3-0, as I said. Scotlandville up 20-0 over Live Oak. Catholic High Baton Rouge is in a fight for their life right now with Woodlawn of Baton Rouge 21-21 in the second quarter. Tomorrow, we'll see John Curtis and Archbishop Rummel. We'll see St. Aug and Archbishop Shaw. And we'll see Jesuit, who has their bye week and is playing H.L. Bourgeois tomorrow. Some other scores around 5A. Let me give a few of those to you. Bonneville got beat on Thursday night by Chalmette, who clinches the district. Kenny, last week we did a big game between East St. John and East Jefferson and John Erich, for second place. Chalmette clinched it last night by beating Bonneville 40-14. East Jefferson bounces back with a win last night, 38-6 over L.W. Higgins. All of these were from Thursday night. Captain Shreve got beat by C.E. Bird, as I said already. Ruston defeats West of Ouachita last night. Fontainebleau took it on the chin from Slidell, 34-6. And now tonight in the second quarter, in this same 7-5A district, Thibodaux 21, Terrebonne 7. John Erich 21, Grace King nothing. Acadiana 21, Barb 0. On the North Shore, Covington 13, North Shore, a vastly improved football team, 13-7 Covington at halftime. Lafayette 16, Sam Houston 7. Big one in Baton Rouge. Big rivalry, Zachary 28, Central of Baton Rouge 14. Denham Springs is down to Walker 14-0. In the second quarter, up in Shreveport, Parkway 21, Southwood 14. Down in the Bayou, also in this 7-5A district, Central Lafourche getting beat by Hawnville 35-6. Up in Baton Rouge, Dutchtown and Santa Mont 7-0. That's a big rivalry right there in the Gonzales area. A few more scores from some lower divisions.
Any of them surprised you so far?
Yeah, a couple. North Shore's hanging in there. I'm Catholic High Baton Rouge, who I think at the beginning part of the year I said might be the best football team in the state. They're in a 21-0 dogfight. How about this score? Karen Crow is down by 3 to St. Thomas More. 21-18. Turling's down to St. Martinville, 28-17. Down the Bayou, South Lafourche is getting beat by Vanderbilt Catholic, 21-0. On the North Shore, Lakeshore 20, Pearl River 3. Big one up in Central Louisiana. And I think it's going to be tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, is Minden and Houghton. That's a big one. They're going to be playing tomorrow. Leesville 14, Tioga 0. Rain 16, Liberty 7, Washington Marion 34, LaGrange 0. That's a big rivalry in the Lake Charles area. Cecilia 0, Livonia 0. That's going to be, yes, that's going to be tomorrow. I'm looking at the date. That's going to be tomorrow. In the city, John F. Kennedy 15, Eleanor McMain 0. Belle Chase getting beat by Edna Carr. A lot of news out of this week with reclassification. We haven't touched on that tonight. Some announcements by Carr, who will be moving up to 5A. So you're going to see the landscape in the city change a little bit with some teams dropping down into 4A, namely Archbishop Shaw, and Carr by enrollment will be moving up to 5A. So you're going to see some movements in districts. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with some of the traditional districts, especially the Catholic League. What are they going to do with the numbers there? Yesterday, McDonough 35 beat Sophie B. Wright 28-14. Booker T. Washington 54 yesterday over Cy Academy. Tonight in second quarter, North Webster 32, Mansfield 6. Slaughter Community Charter down to Grant 17-0. University Lab up in Baton Rouge up 7-0 over West Feliciana. Another big one in Baton Rouge. Parkview Baptist 28, Baker 0. On the North Shore, Laranger 21, Archbishop Hannon 14. At halftime, Haynes Academy is getting beat by Thomas Jefferson 6-0. De La Salle 30-0 over Kenner Discovery. De La Salle, we called their game a few weeks ago, and we've seen them a couple times already this season.
That game.
That's correct, exactly. And they're a solid football team that had to really play up in classification during their non-district as they got into a district which they've been handling quite easily, trying to keep themselves ready for the playoffs after they get done with district games. They played such a tremendous schedule in the non-district. E.D. White down the Bayou, 30-0 over Berwick at half. Over around the Abbeville area, it's a 0-0 game, Abbeville and Kaplan. That is a huge rivalry. Up in Shreveport, Evangel Christian up 7-0 over Booker T. Washington. Trying to give you as many scores as I can from around the nation, as again, if you watch our scoreboard show, you'll get the most complete scores and final reports at the end of the night from the original and Kenny Trahan.
Go right back to the CrescentCitySports.com website. Correct. Click on the scores. You can pick on the New Orleans area only. You can pick on statewide. Click on statewide, not pick. Click on statewide, and lots of you can do it by class. You can click on 5A, 4A, 3A, 2A, or you can just click on all, which is what Wade's doing right now. And we just go up and down the scoreboard, and look and listen. By the way, while you're doing that, if we had to pick a player of the first half of the game, who would it be for you?
For me, it's going to be Kalaj Collins, number 56.
Are you Kalaj Collins? I'm going offense. I'm going Shane Lee for Destrehan because he's been all over the place. You also have to credit Dorian Smith for that great, or rather Brandon Freeman, for that real nice kickoff return, because that was as pretty as it can be for Destrehan. On the opening kickoff, a squib kick. It was picked up as we look back at the scoring. And Brandon Freeman picked it up at the 15, returned it to the 15, a 70-yard kickoff return. One play later, it was Shane Lee taking it in for the touchdown, 7-0 Destrehan. Then neither team could do much for quite a while, and then Destrehan, I think, got it figured out first. And it was a drive by the Destrehan offense that saw Shane Lee score on a 2-yard run. The extra point on that one was no good and nothing special. Will Bryant just didn't get set, the field goal kicker, and no good. 13-0 Destrehan at that point. And then the defense took over for the Destrehan Wildcats, and they kept East St. John backed up. And after a big scramble in the end zone, the Destrehan Wildcats fell on the fumble and led 19-0, 2-point conversion. They used the old swinging gate, and it went from Jai Eugene to Ross Rogan, the backup quarterback, and Ross Rogan then turned around and hit Shane Lee, and Shane Lee got it over for the 2-point conversion, and that's where we stand 21-0 at halftime here at Destrehan on a nice night for high school football with a strong 15 to maybe 18 to maybe 20 mile an hour wind blowing. Was from the northwest at first. Now it looks like it's just a good west wind blowing, which would be from behind us in the press box out toward the other stands.
Kenny, you asked me if I had a score that I was surprised by. I'm surprised by that Ponchatoula St. Paul score. As high-powered as that Ponchatoula offense is, they've only scored 3 points tonight on the North Shore against St. Paul's. St. Paul's a good football team with a good defense. Halftime, it's going to be interesting to see in the second half how that plays out. I know it's a rivalry.
Yeah. But, right now, it's look, we're in the end of October. It's getting crunch time.
Right.
I mean, we've got a season, a week left, and then we get into the playoffs.
Right. I said earlier I think we were in week 8. I'm sorry, we're actually in week 9, so that's my mistake. But, here you are in week 9, and it's crunch time. A lot of teams know they're in the playoffs. They know they might be on that 32-team roster, especially in non-select schools, but what they're doing is they're jockeying to get themselves in position to get a home football game, Kenny. That's what they want to do. They want to be in the first 16 teams in the power rating so that way they can get that first week at home. Now, if you are a select football team, all right, you're jockeying for a position to get that first round bye, okay, especially in Division I. So that's where those points you picked up this week from the Brother Martin losses with the forfeits that they've had to declare play huge into what you're going to do that first week in the playoffs, whether you're playing or you're getting well to get ready to go to the next round.
I want to remind everybody to check out the all-new Crescent City Sportsmakers podcast presented by Southland Plumbing Supply. This week's episode features the man fresh off his 600th career coaching victory, J.T. Curtis of John Curtis Christian School. You can catch a new episode every Thursday. Get it at CrescentCitySports.com, or better yet, subscribe to the Crescent City Sportsmakers podcast through your favorite podcast provider. We talk about J.T., and he's making the final stretch run to catch John McKissick, the not only retired, but now passed away, now deceased, all-time leader at 621.
Well,
and it'll probably take JT another seat, probably somewhere in the, what are we in now, 21, 22, 23, I'd say somewhere in probably 23, possibly in 22. Yeah, you couldn't do it in 22. You're not going to get enough, but probably by 23, if Curtis continues to win like John Curtis usually continues to win, then he's got a chance to catch him within the next 2 years, and that would make him the all-time winningest high school coach in the country.
Well, let me say this, okay? The 600, obviously, he knew about because it was what it was. It was 600. He knew it. In about 5 games from now, he isn't going to remember exactly 600 and what. Right?
That's right.
Because guys like Coach Curtis and most head high school football coaches that I know, it's about weekly preparation and the commitment to excellence to get your team ready to play against whoever that opponent is. And most coaches don't even know their one-loss record. Okay, I'm just telling you, they don't remember. Okay, it's about what happened last week. What mistakes did we make? Let's go out this week. Let's get ourselves better, and let's get ourselves ready to play the next competition.
Well, he wouldn't talk about it.
Right.
He wouldn't mention it.
Absolutely.
It's the press. It's the media.
It's the
fans.
media. It is the fans.
It might be
correct.
members of his family, but it wouldn't
right.
be anybody who's involved with coaching or understands J.T. Curtis. But
I guarantee when he walks in, right, I guarantee you when he walks in that house that night, it's not even mentioned.
No, but listen, one way or the other, it's a story, and
right.
people are going to talk about it because it's history in the making.
No doubt.
And therefore, you have to talk about it he doesn't have to talk about it.
And I guarantee.
But he's got enough class that he will
Right.
at least address it if you bring it up to him.
And I guarantee the first people that he talks about when he talks about the record are the many assistant coaches that he has worked with in his career, the many players that he's had the opportunity to coach, and the fellow coaches around him that he has competed against, that he has had that opportunity to not only compete, but also he has learned from. So all of that goes into that what's the number, 620?
621 by John
621,
McKissick. Yeah.
621. And all that goes into that 621 when it will be broken in whatever year it's going to be broken in.
In the final 2 minutes, what is Brandon Brown telling East St. John? How do they recover from this?
First thing we got to do is we've got to do a better job up front. We've got to be able to stop the pressure that's coming off the edge by guys like Kalijah Cobbins and all the rest of the defensive line from Destrehan that's getting off the ball so quick and are in the backfield so fast in Yesiah Mitchell's face. So he had to make some adjustments up front with protections, get those guys to play better, use some better protections to be able to protect his quarterback. The next thing he talked to them about is we've got to do something defensively to be able to shut down this high-powered Destrehan offense. So we're going to have to play harder. We're going to have to move some people around, maybe start with some run blitzes, things of that nature, some different pressures to be able to put on the second half to be able to slow down this Destrehan Wildcat offense. Now, over the other locker room, Kenny, not much needs to be said. Okay, these guys are clicking on all cylinders. What they need to clean up on was the 3 or 4 illegal procedure penalties that cost them yardage in the first half. That needed to be addressed. Other than that, they're playing a very sound defensive game. These guys can flat run to the football. They can get off the football. They can pressure a quarterback. Linebackers do a great job stepping up on clear and cloudy calls, scraping on cloudy calls where they've got to be, and they are very good in the secondary. I'm very impressed with the way their secondary can run and trace football down when they're in the air. So cleaning up the penalties is what needs to be discussed over there in that Garnet locker room of Destrehan.
Well, the good news for East St. John is that they had won the toss deferred, and they will get the football to start the second half. And it'll be better news for the East St. John Wildcats if they can do something with it and get some points on the board.
Well,
because you're right. Despite all the penalties and that part of the Destrehan game, hey, the defense has just been outstanding, and they just haven't allowed East St. John to do very much in this game.
So East St. John gets the ball here to start the second half. If you remember, they deferred, so they're going to get the ball to get going, and they're down 21-0. They put something in on this drive. They answer. They're right back into this football game, and that's what they need to do, and that's exactly what Brandon Brown told them. Let's make some adjustments. Let's do what we have to do, and let's get some points on the board on this first drive offense.
Will Bryant, the kicker for the Destrehan Wildcats, has got a strong enough leg that he has really not allowed East St. John to do very much with the football, and even kicking, and it's not kicking against the wind, he's kicking into a side wind, a wind that's blowing from almost behind the press box out toward the visiting stands from the west to the east, and the press box is usually on the west side of a stadium. And when we came here tonight, it was blowing more toward from the northwest, toward what it would be as we look at the field, that upper right corner of the end zone, but the wind hasn't really affected anything, and not even the missed extra point, because that was a bad plant.
I don't know if you've noticed, usually on most goalposts when you walk in the stadium, they have the little wind flags. I think Ida took those.
Oh, that's right. That's true. They're gone.
Right. And if I'm not mistaken,
because of Ida, they're sitting in Little Rock, Arkansas, in somebody's backyard.
They're somewhere, right? So, they haven't replaced the little flags on the goalposts. So, a kicker, believe it or not, they do look at those, and they do have to judge of it. But if we're looking at the American flag and the Louisiana State flag in the end zone, in the south end zone, you can see a stiff wind pushing those flags around. But it's swirling. Kickers, believe it or not, do look at those little flags, and they do have to adjust a little bit this way, a little bit that way to be able to get it through the uprights. And, this young man's a solid kicker, and They need to get the flags back up there for him.
Well, that's when talking to Marcus Scott, and he said when we brought up the kicker, and he just said, "Wow, he's a good one."
Yeah,
I'm just going to say he's a good one. He's got a great leg. You'd like to see a little bit more consistency, but he said he's got the leg and he's got the, again, you got to have the head and to be able to not worry about it when you lost. He said he's got the tools to kick on Saturday,
right?
And he'll kick for somebody at the collegiate level, at some level of college football. We're just about ready to go with the second half. Destrehan in control, 21-0. We haven't seen as many big explosive plays from both sides as we thought we would. By the way, if the name Jai Eugene sounds pretty familiar to LSU fans, yes, his dad played not only here at Destrehan but at LSU. Was a senior in 2010, was a cornerback, and for the first 3 years at LSU and played safety his senior year and was a pretty good defender coming out of Destrehan. ESPN rated his dad, Jai Eugene Sr., as the 16th, 1-6 best overall prospect in the game. Well, finally, a kickoff that can be returned by East St. John. And they're going to bring it out. They've got some room, and it's going to be a nice return past the 30 and up to about the 32 or 33-yard line by the East St. John Wildcats.
Well, that's a nice return right there. That's the spark that they need. They get down the boundary with some nice blocking right there. That was Dekai Joseph with his speed. He takes it, and he gets over there to the boundary. I'm sorry,
that's
not the guy. That's Coyle Gray. Yeah. He gets over there behind a wall of white jerseys, and he gets down there, and he's going to get a chance to get East St. John nice starting position to start the second half.
Kickoff-wise, this is probably their best position here at their own 33-yard line, and let's see what the offense can do. They're going to try the ground first. They had no success with the middle in the first half, and don't get much here, maybe a yard and a half. So not a whole lot there by East St. John's Cortez Fisher, Patrick Rojas on the stop. And
again, trying to really pound the inside in between the tackles right there with the inside zone play. Just not much room to go. We saw a little bit of it in the first half, the inside zone, and just really not much running room there.
Rojas, Kalaj Cobbins, Stephen Walker, we've just called their names, and they called their names and continually called their names, and we'll be calling their names again because they close up this hole pretty well on the quarterback, keeper Joshua Mitchell's run. This one, Amari Johnson, the only name we didn't mention, says, hey, mention me too.
That's a run read by the quarterback. He's reading the flow of the linebacker to his right. If that linebacker goes with the back, he's going to pull that ball and try to replace him. Linebacker went, he pulls the ball, he gets up inside and sets up a manageable third down for the East St. John Wildcats.
Cortez Fisher checked in at running back on this 3rd down and 4. The give to Fisher. He's in trouble in the backfield, and he'll be brought down back at the 31-yard line for a big loss.
No place to go right there. Brad, no place to go right there. Again, I think that's zone read, and I think the read was poor by Joshua Mitchell. He gives the ball right there, and you're going to see a ton of garnet jerseys out there all of a sudden making a play. And led by Kalijah Cobbins.
Yeah.
My guy that I picked in the first half.
Oh, yeah, rub it in. Go ahead. Ooh, he had to rush that punt. Big rush was on, and he gets it off and gets a great East St. John bounce. It's going to be picked up by Blood, and he'll be tackled immediately back at the 32-yard line of Destrehan.
Look, this guy, Kalijah Cobbins, is a sophomore, all right? He's 6'3", 195 pounds. He's only going to grow into that body. You know, he's a tall drink of water, right? And he's athletic. So he spends, a couple more years in that weight room, good off seasons. This guy's going to be 225 possibly by the time he graduates, and he runs like a deer.
Well, the very dangerous and speedy Shane Lee, only a sophomore. Not only do you have some big playmakers on this Destrehan team, but guys like Shane Lee, young, and man, they've got more years in the program. Look at Shane Lee. Here goes Shane Lee. They won't catch him. Shane Lee to the end zone. Touchdown by Shane Lee from the 36-yard line. My goodness.
Great blocks out on the edge to get Shane Lee to pop the ball outside on the sweep, and he splits the defenders and just goes yard. You saw him turn on the Jets about 10 yards from the line of scrimmage, and nobody was running him down. Watch the blocking out here on the edge. Again, big number 74, Darrell Daig. Big number 74, Landon Cannon out there on the edge making a great block. And then you can see him turning on the Jets and just running away from everybody in white.
Well, Shane Lee's 64-yard touchdown run. And with the PAT converted by Will Bryant early here in the second half, Destrehan has opened up a 28-0 lead over East St. John.
Well, one play, 6 points. I mean, you always want to be able to score like that, but that was very well executed out there on the sweep out there. Great job by – I'm also impressed tonight with this Destrehan offensive line. These guys do a great job pulling, getting out on the edge. They do a nice job with their inside zone blocking on all their RPOs. Very, very talented group of men.
So Shane Lee, with 2 of the 3 touchdowns, the 2 offensive touchdowns scored. The third one was a defensive fumble recovery in the end zone in the first half. Comes up and scores his 3rd touchdown of the game, this time on a 64-yard run. Shane Lee also caught the pass from backup quarterback Ross Rogan for the 2-point conversion on the 3rd touchdown. And Will Bryant gets set to kick it off for the Destrehan Wildcats. He'll line drive this one, dropped at the 9-yard line. And because of the drop, just a little bit of a return by Coyle Gray before he is brought to the ground.
Well, Coyle Gray didn't have anywhere to go that time. Great coverage by the guys in the garnet jerseys. They get down the field off a nice kick, and Coyle Gray just got hammered right there.
Well, somehow East St. John has to find a way to get some points on the board, garner a little momentum on this drive, and make something happen. And I think the biggest thing is maybe, Wade, when you just give this a thought, and even though it's very early in the second half, still no way to get past this very aggressive defense that's showing pressure right now and in trouble and brought down. Is he at the 1 or is he in there? No signal from the official yet. They're going to call forward progress at the 1-yard line. So they bring down Yashua Mitchell at the 1-yard line. Patrick Rojas, you could see pressure coming. It was a big blitz, and they got through to Mitchell.
Here comes a blitz right here. They run an A-B gap blitz right there. Look at Rojas. Nobody touches him. Nobody picks it up. He's all over the place. Mitchell has nothing to do except go down, try to stay outside of the end zone. I like the scheme of the blitz right there. Sent the nose one way, sent the 4 technique the other, brought both linebackers in the A and B gap strong. One pops loose. That was Rojas. And now the ball is seated back there at the 1 or inside the 1-yard line. Somebody's calling timeout. It looks like East St. John.
I think East St. John's going to call timeout. They want to talk this over because, again, backed up deep in their own territory at the 1-yard line. The first thing they cannot do is fumble the ball in the end zone again. 2 offensive touchdowns in the first half and 1 defensive touchdown by the Destrehan defense when they recovered the fumble in the end zone and scored. And again, it's been the night of Shane Lee offensively for the Destrehan Wildcats as he scored after the 70-yard kickoff return to the 15-yard line. He scored on a 15-yard run, later on a 2-yard run to make it 13-0 and a missed extra point. Then on the 3rd touchdown, which was scored by the defense, he came back and caught the 2-point conversion pass from backup quarterback Ross Rogan. And then to start here in the second half, first play, a 64-yard touchdown run by Shane Lee, and it's just been his night. It's been all Shane Lee, 28-0.
Yeah, he's got 106. He's got 106 yards on 6 carries and 3 TDs. He's having a great night. You're right.
Well, that time they opened up the big hole for George Martin. Jermaine Stewart finally closed it. He got a few yards, not many, but I'll credit the offensive line. They did give Martin room to run.
Got it out there. They'll give him forward progress right there. They run it up inside with the ISO, and they'll mark the ball at about the 3-yard line. But look at all the crimson jerseys that get to that ball real fast.
It's impressive. And, Marcus Scott said, here East St. John is the fastest team we're going to play, but the speed, I'm impressed with the speed of Destrehan just as much as that of East St. John. East St. John just can't break through or break free. They couldn't get through the line that time. And once again, George Martin just no daylight.
Another scary situation for the punt team of East St. John. We all know what happened last time that the punter for East St. John was kicking out the back of his end zone, right? It ended up into 6 points for Destrehan. So he's got to handle this ball and make sure that he gets it out. Starts with the snap.
The punter is Kylan Harris, and he does this time. It'll be a short punt pulled in at the 27-yard line. Blood looking to go to the right. He'll reverse his field. He's going to find running room. One man to get outside of. Looks to the right, stutter stepped a little bit, and finally runs out of bounds at the 16-yard line. They may mark it to the 15-yard line, but what a run by Daniel Blood to reverse his field, come to the near side, and almost break it to the end zone, but a flag is down. Is that a flag down over there? A couple of flags down.
They were trying to set up the return to his right. He should have kept going because he got outside the wall. He stays inside the wall over there. He'd have been standing in the end zone. So you got a flag down. It's either probably a block in the back or a hold. Oh, my goodness. If he would have stayed inside that wall, he would have walked into the end zone. He just overshot his wall right there.
Well, that's why the coaches were yelling and screaming.
Well, I can see from up here what they were looking at. They had the wall set up nicely again. They do a great job with their special teams on their punt return unit. It's just that it's tough to be perfect and not get a block in the back or some sort of holding penalty with the perfect return. So let's see what they're marking. Right now they're playing.
There were three flags down on the turf, so one more we could have filled up a Kleenex box.
Well, right now they're deciding which flag is mine.
One more hanky.
That's that game. Is that one yours? Is that one mine? So let's see. Here we go. Here's our call from Mr. Forcade.
Referee is Chris Forcade.
And they took the block in the back. And they'll mark it off from where the block in the back penalty flag was thrown. The holding penalty was probably a little bit more forward than that, so they were going to get the greater yardage on marking off the block in the back. But I tell you what, Daniel Blood, if he would have stayed inside that wall, he just overshot it. Would have been 6 points, but it would have been called back.
From the 38-yard line of East St. John, this entire half has been played almost on East St. John's side of the field. The one time it wasn't, Shane Lee took it one play for the touchdown. Well, there's that exact situation. False start, another penalty on Destrehan. You talked about you were hoping was going to be fixed during the halftime.
Apparently didn't get fixed. You got to get lined up. I mean, you can't be moving. It's week 9. I know back in the first half I said it was week 8 a couple times. That's my fault. I'm getting old, but it is week 9.
New math.
Right.
You don't teach math, do you?
No, I never did teach math.
Just checking.
And I barely got by with D's, all right? I'm not afraid to say it, but it's week 9. You shouldn't have these penalties like this as far as the legal procedure is concerned.
I'm going to give you a pass on not being a good math student. You went Jesuit. You were probably in 8th grade taking calculus.
Boom. I couldn't spell calculus. Here we go.
Long pass. And pulling up for it, pulling it down. What a catch by Leslie Jefferson. First time they target him tonight, and he pulls it down. He's got to come back and wait for it, but a fine play by the junior wide receiver for the Destrehan Wildcats.
Well, Leslie Jefferson comes back to get the ball. The defensive back from East St. John should have high-pointed this at this point and just knocked it down. He should have raked the arms. That was number 15 from East St. John to Kyrie Joseph. All he needed to do was rake the arms and knock the ball down and play a little bit more better hands defense. That ball would have been incomplete.
Jai Eugene, number 4 at quarterback. He's looking into the end zone. Will throw the dart that's too high right through the long upstretched hands of his receiver. Well, he wanted it all, I'll tell you that. He was going for it.
Ken, I'm going to say this about Jai Eugene's left arm. It's live. All right?
Yeah.
He's got an arm now. That thing came out of there, and look, that's like 99 miles per hour tonight with the Astros and the Braves, right?
Look, he threw it high to Calvin Bullock, but Bullock's 6'2". He can go up and get that. He elevated. He just couldn't pull it down. So they'll give this ball to Patrick LeBranch. LeBranch up the middle. LeBranch.
Nothing there on the ISO.
Yeah. Wow.
We'll get a look at it again. You'll see
Patrick LeBranch.
Right. You'll see a nice job by this offensive line. Watch this offensive line do a great job up front at the point of attack. Here we go.
Well, what a pretty touchdown run by Patrick LeBranch.
You see the ISO right there. Nobody to block by the fullback, number 26, Dylan Ward, has nobody to get up on. So he goes all the way to the third level, and then he's up on a safety. That means you're walking into the end zone.
Boy, Bryant kicks it up and through with that strong leg. Will Bryant makes it a 35-0 ball game with 6:53 to play in the third quarter. This Destrehan team is loaded.
Well, team speed is what I'm really impressed with these guys. These guys, not only defensively but offensively, how athletic their offensive line is up front. They do a great job up front. With all the schemes that they're using on their zone offense. And blood hasn't been touched all night back there. They're doing a great job on their pass protection. So, I mean, this is a good football team.
So Patrick LeBranch scores the touchdown. And the deep kick will be blown dead. Once it crosses the goal line, it is blown dead, even though I can understand East St. John's anticipation and excitement about wanting to bring it out because he had a little bit of room on that one.
Well, it's going to come out to the 20-yard line. That's just one of those Federation rules that helps protect returners. It's been around forever. The ball breaks the goal line like that. It's going to come out to the 20-yard line.
Well, if we said this last time, but it begs to be said again. East St. John has just got to move the ball, and Yeshua Mitchell has not. He just hasn't thrown the ball a whole lot. He came in here passing. Completing 33 of 52 for 585 yards and 7 touchdowns passing, but he just hasn't been able to get it going. And he hands off to either George Morton or Cortez Fisher. This one is number 2, Cortez Fisher, and there's just nowhere to go against this big, fast, and speedy defensive line of the Destrehan Wildcats. That time Patrick Rojas led it.
Patrick Rojas was there, also Kalaj Cobbins. Watch how these guys get off blocks. Patrick Rojas just kind of sits in there and sniffs his way through and makes a nice play.
See, since you picked him as the defensive player of the first half, I just said I wanted to see if you'd quickly jump in and throw in that second defender on that play. Well done.
He's impressive.
Lost a lot of yards, second down, and they dropped it on the turf. Who's got it? Big scramble.
He just dropped the ball. He just hit him right in his hands and just try to anticipate what he's going to do with the ball real quick, and he puts the ball on the ground, and now you're looking at third.
This is sort of a case where when things go bad, they just when it rains, it pours, so to speak, that kind of thing. Wow.
Right. Well, it's pouring right now.
It is.
They're having trouble handling the snap right there, and it's just the guys in Garnet are just teeing off. They're like coming out of the track blocks.
Well, 3rd and 21 from their own 9-yard line. Fisher behind him. Mitchell on the run. Mitchell being chased, and he just slides down at the 15-yard line. I'm not sure if he slipped or that was an intentional slide. Looked like it was intentional.
Yeah, he went into second base. He was about to get delivered on by Rojas right there, and then he went down. He didn't want to take that lick. he had a long way to go to get the sticks. He had already crossed the line of scrimmage. Don't take that pop. Get your punt team on the field. And
fourth down.
Go try to regroup.
So East St. John's got to punt it away again with 4:49 to play in the third. Had one too many players on the field. They got off in time. Quick snap. Here is the punt. It's going to be low on the ground. Picked up by Leonard Harris. Harris running around the right side, breaks a couple of tackles, and is finally pulled down inside the 30-yard line, down at about the 27-yard line. So Leonard Harris's first return of the evening for the Destrehan Wildcats.
Destrehan trying to set their wall up that time to Leonard Harris's left. Harris just picks up the ball and gets up the field. He bounces out to the right-hand side away from the wall and the guys in the garnet jerseys. I got to make sure I say garnet because it's not crimson, it's not red,
crimson,
it's
maroon,
garnet.
It's garnet.
In Destrehan country, it's garnet.
Garnet. Trey Nixon, your running back for this series. Great field position at the East St. John 27, and the East St. John defensive line stops up. They meet Nixon in the backfield, nowhere to go, and that charge was led by Javon Dent.
Javon Dent was there. Freddie Jones was there. A lot of guys in white jerseys get penetration that time and do a nice job against that inside zone play.
Trey Nixon stays in at running back. He is the junior, little 5'8", tough runner. Takes the snap, comes around the left side, is upended as he crosses the 25-yard line by Dimitri LaBeouf.
Trying to run the sweep to the wide side of the field. Not much room right there. Guys in white, East St. John Wildcats do a nice job rallying to that football.
Brandon Freeman checks in as a running back along with Trey Nixon. So here on 3rd down and 6, little extra protection in case pressure comes. Nixon goes in motion out of it, and we've got flags thrown. Motion, illegal procedure, false start.
They're getting it out on the wings. The wings are catching it out there, and, something's going on out there with those Destrehan receivers. They're either not getting set or there's an offensive lineman that could possibly be leaning backwards before they're pulling. Something they're seeing out there on the wings, and those wings are quickly stopping the play and putting that flag on the ground on that illegal procedure.
I want to remind everybody that our third quarter is being brought to you by Gibbs Construction. We'll talk about Gibbs Construction in just a moment. Good keeper on the fake by Jai Eugene. Fooled a lot of people. Eugene over the right side, close to the first down, but a little bit short. Dimitri LaBeouf makes a first down saving tackle.
Nice read on the zone read. He's reading the last guy in a white jersey right there. He was reading number 26, if I'm not mistaken, Elijah Frank, who came all the way down to the running back. That's a read of disconnect for a quarterback. Quarterback disconnects, gets around and replaces that defensive end, and he was off to the races, and it's bringing up 4th and short.
Dylan Ward will get the call. He just comes into the game, spins into the line, is hit and driven back. He won't get it on 4th down and short. He will not get it, and the Destrehan will turn it over on downs. Boy, Dylan Ward made a nice spin into the line. He comes in and gets his, I believe, first carry of the game. He may have touched it once back in the first half. But watch this spin move into the line. Boom.
Well, he was spinning so he wouldn't get hit, right? Because he ultimately ended up getting hit right there by number 7, Freddie Jones, from his linebacker position, who comes in with 42 tackles on the night and 1 interception. He's a 5'10", 210-pound junior linebacker.
So 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line for East St. John. 2:25 to go. Bad snap, way off the mark. And Joshua Mitchell just has to go fall on it back at the 8-yard line.
Who said when it rains it pours?
Yeah, I did.
Is that like Morton Salt, isn't it?
And that's kind of like pouring salt in a wound right now if you're the defense of Destrehan, just pouring it on.
Well, just seeing how old you are, because that was an old advertisement. With the little girl with the umbrella, Morton Salt, pouring on the umbrella.
I was able to broadcast the crossing of the Red Sea, so I've been around quite a while.
There you go. I remember that one from the 60s, man.
Under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. He'll try it again. Mitchell wants to throw it long. He's got a man, and he's got the completion. A nice catch way down by Ashton Williams. And that is huge.
Well, they were looking for that all night. Finally got Ashton Williams.
Well, I said
loose.
Ashton. Maybe it's Dekai. I'm going to take that. Let me check that. That might be Dekai Joseph.
Well, it looks like it's number 10. It looks like it was Ashton Williams.
It was Ashton Williams.
Well, they were looking at that all night. Ashton Williams lined up in the slot and went vertical on that route. Nicely thrown ball by Mitchell, but he had time.
21-yard gain. This time Mitchell trying to escape. Is hit from behind. Ball is loose. Scramble for it. Picked up by Destrehan.
They brought the blitz again. Right there, 54 was there to come off of his blitz and make a play.
Along with Rojas and Corbin.
That was Cameron Thomas, a sophomore linebacker. Watch the blitz. There it is. Rojas gets picked up. 56. Kalijah Cobbins looks like he causes the tackle and the strip, and it's recovered. Looked like Stephen Walker recovered that. Is that correct?
I think it was.
Again, blitzes have been the nemesis tonight for East St. John. They just haven't been able to pick up the blitz, and those blitzes are getting home.
1:10 to go in third quarter. And we've got a backup quarterback in the game now. Ross Rogan, the backup quarterback, will take it here in the final 1 minute plus in the third quarter, giving Jai Eugene a little bit of a rest. Wanted to again thank Gibbs Construction for their sponsorship of the third quarter, a leader in the construction industry in Louisiana and the Gulf Coast for more than 35 years, transforming dreams, visions, and plans into reality. Gibbs Construction, we love them. They sponsored the third quarter. Go ahead, Wade.
Ross Rogan, 6 foot, 194 senior. He's getting a chance to, get some reps here. Good for the senior to be able to kind of.
He's had some good throws. Right. Hand off to Brandon Freeman, going nowhere. Ross Rogan saw a little action in one play here in the first half of this game when they missed the extra point on the second touchdown. They came in on that third touchdown, and he's the one that took the pass from Jai Eugene and then hit none other than Shane Lee.
Correct.
With the 2-point conversion at that point to make it 21-0. Right now it's 35-0, and the third quarter has just come to an end.
Well, when you're the second guy sitting behind Jai Eugene, you want to be able to contribute any way you can, especially if you're a senior. And look, he's a team player, and Marcus Scott knows that, so he's going to look for ways and look for chances to be able to get him on the field, and they did on that 2-point conversion, and it's great that they're going to get him some reps as they go into the fourth quarter leading 35-0.
Now look, Jai Eugene's a junior. He's going to be back for another year, and Ross Rogan's a senior. You want to give him a chance to play. He's got a good arm. He's made some good throws. Most of the time it's usually coming in on an extra point or something along that line, but in game action, until he got in just now, he came in here only having attempted 3 passes, completed 2, both for touchdowns. So
that's a nice batting average, isn't it?
The limited time that he has been able to see action, he's made the most of it.
You didn't hit that good in Little League.
I didn't hit that well in Diaper League. Rogan will roll left, got people chasing him. He'll tuck it under and run, and he is pulled down from behind as he fights his way back close to the line of scrimmage.
And he lost his helmet, so he's going to be off a play, so we'll see Jai Eugene back on the field. He does a nice job right here. They're trying to run that flood route. We saw this early in the first half. Receiver gets knocked down. That's Calvin Bullock, gets knocked down by the defender. So nice job by Ross Rogan. He doesn't try to force the ball. Just tucks it and runs, and his helmet comes off.
But it was fourth down coming up.
Right, so fourth down. Right, so then he'll go off the field, and they'll come on and punt the football. But credit Ross Rogan right there for making a heads-up play as a senior right there, not trying to force something.
So Will Bryant will punt if this truly is a punt. They don't fake it here. He'll punt and try to pin him way back near the 1 yard line. Low snap picked up well. He'll spiral it. And a fair catch called for and made. And I believe that was Kylan Harris on the fair catch.
Another look at the punt formation. Snaps on the target. Nice job on the punt.
Spiraled it up. He was trying to pin him back, and that's exactly what he did.
Great coverage by the guys in the garnet jerseys.
And a good fair catch called for and made by Kylan Harris. So it'll be East St. John ball as we start the fourth quarter. Ken Berthelot along with Wade Kaiser, Chip and Matt Merritt on the production end of things, and Rick Thompson, our spotter tonight. It's been all Destrehan. And the key to this game has not only been an offense that has just blown things wide open, but and here's a handoff. Cortez Fisher. East St. John I think they're scratching their head trying to figure out how do we do it?
How do we block these guys?
How do we block these guys?
Well, I tell you what, it's a tall order, and Destrehan's on their way to possibly another shutout, and that would be the second one of the season here. And look, as I said, the speed of these guys is really impressive. How they get off blocks and run to the football.
Number 6, George Smith, is in at quarterback, and just nowhere to go, not even for George Smith on the keeper. Patrick Rohat shuts him down.
Watch these guys get off of blocks. Nobody touches Jacoby Green right there coming off the edge.
George Smith, backup quarterback. Also a cornerback when needed. 1 for 7 in passing coming in for East St. John, and they'll hand it off once again to Cortez Fisher. Gets a few on the right side. Leonard Harris stops him.
Leonard Harris flies in from his cornerback position right there, or safety position, and makes a nice play. He fits off the linebacker nicely, and here comes the fit for the tackle right there. Nice job by the 6'3", 185-pound senior.
So fourth down long, fourth and about 8. And they'll fake it, and they've got a man wide open. Keelan Harris throws it, and East St. John is alive.
Well, I tell you what.
What a catch, what a play and catch by East St. John.
That's gutsy.
Kai Joseph
that's gutsy.
On the catch, and that's gutsy to have to. But what do you have to lose? Let's have some fun. And
you're down 35-0. Why not? But here's the deal.
Harris on the 3, Kai Joseph on the catch, and here you go.
Here's the deal. Nobody covered the gunner out there.
That's right.
So you have an automatic built in. If you look up and you see the gunner is uncovered, you throw the football, whether you're standing in your end zone or not. And they threw the ball out down there, and nice execution of the way it's practiced on the practice field and taught by their special teams coach.
They'll keep it on the ground, and here comes Cortez Fisher, a little fired up, bounces to the outside, and he is driven down to the turf out of bounds.
I think we're going to have a holding penalty.
Thrown. We got 2 flags on the field, and they actually could have had a third one on the drive out of bounds. Jermaine Stewart, last guy to hit him, and a good run by Cortez Fisher, the junior.
So we've got multiple penalties. Here comes the hold.
Yep.
Okay, so you say, why do they decline one hold and take another hold? Because it's spots. And for our folks at home to understand this again, it's a spot foul. In Federation, don't get me started on why, and don't get me started on whether or not I like it. So what are you going to do? You're going to take the one that is farther behind the line of scrimmage so you can get the more yardage from the spot foul. So it ends up rather being a 10-yard penalty. It could end up being a 15 or a 20-yard penalty for you.
Smith, the backup quarterback, throws it, and this one's picked off. Intercepted. And here comes Kerry Wilson.
Oh, my goodness. Tip drill right into Kerry Wilson's hands.
Wow. This defense has done just about everything tonight. Now you've got the interception by Kerry Wilson. You've got the fumble recovery for a touchdown caused by the defense. And then you've just got the fact that they stuffed them most of the time. There's your replay.
There's your tip drill. That's what they practice in practice, the tip drill, right? The ball should have been caught by the receiver, tipped up in the air, and then there's Kerry Wilson right into his hands, the senior 5'10", 170-pound defensive back, sometimes wide receiver for the Wildcats of Destrehan.
Ross Rogan will come back in at quarterback. He is the backup quarterback. At the 26-yard line of East St. John, great field position for Destrehan. Trey Nixon, the running back. And they'll just hand off to Nixon, and he'll fire his way behind the right side of that big offensive line. And when you're running right, you're running behind Landry Cannon, 6'2", 350, a sophomore. Dontrell Wright, 6'3", 260, a senior.
Well, when you're living right, things go right for you, right? And you know, Destrehan, everything has gone right for them tonight, pretty much, except for the illegal procedure penalties, which they got to clean up going forward into the playoffs. And you know, East St. John has just had some unfortunate things happen tonight, and it just has compounded for them all night long.
East St. John was showing pressure, called it off. Using a lot of clock, play clock under 5 now. There's the toss, right side, Kane Adams. With the catch, and Kane Adams out of bounds. Inside the 15-yard line, near the 10-yard line, with 6:56 to go in the game, and the Wildcats leading, the Destrehan Wildcats, 35-0, and threatening to score again. Elijah Frank on that last stop for East St. John.
Destrehan's trying to use all of the 40-second clock when the ball, is placed. They're going to run it all the way down to inside the 10-second area on the 40-second clock to try to just get that clock to keep running.
Patrick LeBranch is the running back, takes the handoff straight ahead. He is inside the 10-yard line down to about the 9-yard line. Nothing fancy, as you said, Wade, just eating up clock and keeping it on the ground, coming right at you. Right. Stop us if you can.
Correct. Well, and the point being, too, is they've kind of had their way the whole second half and much of the first half. So what they are trying to do is just let's just run the football and run the clock, and let's get out of here, go home, and let's get ready for next week against Thibodaux.
And they'll go again to Patrick LeBranch on the right side. LeBranch near the 5-yard line, stopped and pushed back. I know it's just be a disappointing loss for East St. John because Brandon Brown and this East St. John team was really looking to come in here with a 3-2 record and make a statement, play well, have a chance to win it. I know this game didn't unfold like they wanted it to. It kind of went that way from the opening kickoff, and then they just couldn't get on track, and you'll have these kind of games from time to time, but it doesn't take away from his building program and what he's trying to do and is doing with the East St. John Wildcats.
He also felt that he could match up well.
Yes.
And I just, as much team speed as East St. John has, they don't match up with the team speed from Destrehan.
It's LeBranch again. And this will bring up 4th down.
Jacoby Roberts.
Under 5 minutes to play. And once again, you're not seeing anything. Marcus Scott and the Destrehan Wildcats have made their statement. They don't have to put another one on the board.
They're just going to try to run that clock out and get out of here.
Yeah.
Nice job by Ja'Cory Robertson that time, trying to making the play, keeping the running back from Destrehan from getting in the end zone. Very nice job. Good tackle at the point of attack.
Ross Rogan behind that offensive line, engineering a pretty good little drive here. 4th down.
Destrehan
4th and 3.
Right, Destrehan could kick to 3. What are they doing? They're trying to run the clock all the way down as much as they can. And then they'll decide whether or not they're going to kick to 3 or put the offense back out.
Hey, like the first quarter, the fourth quarter is brought to you by Lamarck Ford. Crescent City Sports Prep Football is brought to you by the Lamarck Ford Automotive Complex in Kenner. Lamarck Lincoln is the only Lincoln Black Label dealership in the market. It's more than ownership, it's membership. And like Ronnie says, there must be a reason. The reason is, it's Lamarck.
There you go. Now, it looks like they haven't made a decision whether they're going to kick the 3 or put the offense back out.
The only decision probably is whether you want to give
looks like they're bringing
Will
the offense
Bryant.
right. They're bringing the offense back out, which, they could kick the 3 right here, but
this would be an extra point if it was type of attempt for Will Bryant.
Well, no, it looks like they're going to kick the 3.
That is Will Bryant.
Will
Bryant, number 34, is going to try the 3, so they'll put this down at the 11-yard line. This would be a 21-yard field goal. If he can split the uprights with it. Kicked up. And it is good. 21-yard field goal by Will Bryant. Just about every way you could score in a game, except for a safety, which they almost had at one point, Destrehan has done in this ballgame.
Well, they have, and like I said, when it rains, it pours for East St. John. It seems like they just couldn't get anything going tonight. They had a nice drive to start off the game, and then after that, it just hasn't gone their way all night. Like you said, it doesn't take anything from their program. These guys will recoup. But here's one thing, it just doesn't get easier for them. Next week is their bye week in the district, and for some reason they want to pick on St. Thomas more from Lafayette, right? All right, so that's going to be a tough outing also with a very good football team from Lafayette. But Brandon Brown, the quality coach that he is, he'll have his guys ready, and they'll also be ready, hopefully, to get that playoff spot somewhere on that bracket and go into the playoffs and compete well.
One thing Brandon Brown will talk about, and he's back at his alma mater. He's an alum, and
he was a pretty good player. I had the opportunity to coach the young man. He was quite a very good football player. Always competed. Very good job in the classroom also. And
look, this East St. John team hasn't been to the state championship game since 1980 when Phil Greco and Timmy Bird at quarterback. Coach Phil Greco won the 4A state championship at East St. John, and he wants to bring back the E. He wants to bring back the pride in the E at East St. John, and he said, look, even games like this are part of the building process. I don't know how he would approach the team on a game like this, and he tries to bring it back in. I'm not sure why he turned around and threw that ball back in, because if he'd not put out of bounds, that would be a fumble. And I think he was trying to lateral it to somebody, but there just wasn't anybody there to go out and get it.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Elijah Frank saved it.
He's trying to make something happen. I just
I get it.
Right. I can't figure out exactly what he was trying to do there. So that puts them back inside the 5 with, again, really poor starting position with 4:13 left to go in this ball game.
Some coaches will take a game like this, or even in Alabama, when Alabama lost that close game at the end of Texas A&M, and Nick Saban got a chance to talk to that team. He said, I want you to remember how you feel when you lost this game. I want you to remember what this feels like if we don't do our job, if we don't do what we're supposed to do, if we don't get the job done. And, in the end zone. Did he get out of the end zone? I think he did.
I think he did. The ball just made it out.
Boy,
the body was tackled in, ball was out.
Yeah, good play that time. Just made it. George Morton just made it out. Boy, he was just lassoed down there by...
I think that was number 55, Caden Wade, linebacker, sophomore, 5'9", 175 pounds.
And right now, what Marcus Scott's doing is he's got a lot of fresh numbered jerseys in there that you don't normally see and don't get a lot of playing time, and he's getting them some action right now. And flags down. That's going to be procedure. Little motion.
I think
St. John again.
Everybody was ready to go except for I think the center was ready to go, but everybody else wasn't ready to go. So the center snapped the ball and everybody wasn't ready, so we get the procedure penalty here, half the distance to the goal line. Got to be careful, or this could end up being, like you said, the last way that Destrehan could score tonight is by safety. I mean, they're on the inch line down there.
Well, Martin's your running back. They bobble it back there, but somehow Mitchell's able to keep it. Mitchell will run, make something out of it. He's going to get the first down, and he's going to go more. This could be a foot race. Joshua Mitchell showing he's got speed. He's going to go all the way. Mitchell, 99 yards for a touchdown.
Oh, my goodness.
No, that's not Mitchell. That was Kylan Harris.
That was Kylan
Harris taking the direct snap. They took Mitchell out. Kylan Harris with the direct snap.
Well,
wow, Kylan Harris for the score.
That might be an East St. John record, I would think. I mean, I'm not sure of all the East St. John football records for rushes, touchdown rushes, but he went 99 and a half yards.
Wow. Kylan Harris.
Oh, my goodness. What? And did you see the speed? Kylan Harris has some speed down that sideline, just ran away from everybody in a garnet jersey.
Yeah.
Ball was bobbled, and he just took off. Athletic play.
Elijah Frank in to attempt the point after. Steps into the ball on a walk. And it's good. Kylan Harris.
Well, he's got some speed. 6 foot, 165-pound senior. Came in with 8 TDs on the night. He now has 9 for this season. He's a special type of athlete. He kept his head about himself, bobbled the ball, and then just took off.
Yep.
And he ran away from everybody, like I said, that was in a garnet jersey.
You know, that ball was bobbled back there and still was able to make something out of it. And that was a real special play.
Well, it's an athletic play. And he's a very good athlete. So a lot of different jerseys coming on the field, I'm sure, in this next series for Destrehan as well as for East St. John, trying to get some of the younger guys some reps before this ball game expires with 2 minutes and 34 seconds left on the clock.
You know, we hadn't had a chance to really see Kylan Harris explode and show what he could do, and probably one of the best athletes on this team. They got a couple of running backs that can do the same. But it was good to see him get the opportunity to really just explode to the outside and do something and make something happen. So this one's going back. Everybody from Destrehan was playing up expecting an onside or a short kick, but it was kicked hard into the end zone. It was come out to the 20-yard line. Dead ball, and let's see what happens for the final 2:34 of this one. But nice to see that happen for East St. John, because that gives the East St. John Wildcats a lift going into, as you said, what's going to be a very, very tough non-district game in their final game, which is at St. Thomas More.
Here's the bottom line: you don't ever want to get shut out.
Yes.
Right. You know, if you're gonna get beat, that's one thing. Getting shut out is another, and you don't want to go home with a shutout hung on you. And so Kylan Harris took care of that.
Well, we've got another quarterback in and some new running backs. Patrick McNulty Your third-string quarterback getting a little playing time now. He is a junior, 5'10", 140.
Well, you're going to get a lot of different jerseys in there, so it's good to get that JV team on the field. Most likely that's what that is, the JV. And those guys are getting some live reps in a varsity football game.
Dylan Ward is also going to get the opportunity to run that football along with at quarterback, Patrick McNulty. Using up a lot of the clock, no hurry to snap it. They just want to, as Wade said earlier, take it to the house. Hand off, nothing fancy. So Dylan Ward on the carry, the senior. And that'll make it 3rd down and 4 in the final 90 seconds of this football game. It's been well in hand of Destrehan. And right now, Coach Marcus Scott just giving kids an opportunity to play.
Yeah, that's good. That's what you want to do. You want to be
able to, Manuel,
right, get those guys some reps.
Coming in at the running back spot. McNulty will hand off to Manuel, and he's stuffed.
Well, East St. John obviously isn't going to use any of their timeouts, so you're going to see your last snaps here. Trying to run that 40-second clock all the way down. And, you know, this is the time that a lot of parents are up there watching their kids, and they're snapping some pictures because their son is getting on the field, and that's always a good feeling, especially for those young kids. Look, they practice hard. Every day they come out, they give you everything they got as your scout team guys. They're emulating the other team's offenses and defenses and special teams. When you get a chance to get those guys on the field, and I know Coach Scott feels that way, you want to try to get them on the field.
You know, talking to Marcus Scott about the many coaches he's worked under, and he's been a head coach at other places too, but he said 2 of the coaches that we would know that fans listening to our broadcast in the New Orleans area would know were Timmy Rebo, and at Nichols when he was an assistant on the Nichols staff, and Hank Tierney when he worked under Hank Tierney. And he said the thing he liked most about learning from Rebo was that you find a place for every person, every player to be effective and to reach his potential. It might not be the position he wants to play, but you just find a way and to give every kid the opportunity and a chance to star and grow in his football career.
Well, that's part of building a program, and sports are a part about also building positive self-esteem, and that's part of building positive self-esteem.
So it's 5 seconds left on the clock at the snap of the ball, with 6 seconds there, and now 5 and 4. That probably a George Morton stuffed in the backfield, and that's the end of the ball game. 38-7. Destrehan defeats East St. John. Both of them Wildcats. The Destrehan Wildcats 38 and the East St. John Wildcats 7. Well, Destrehan remains undefeated at 5-0. East St. John falls to 3-3, and their overall record is their district record, their District 7 5A record. Neither has played a non-district game.
Well, the big thing about the win tonight by Destrehan is, again, they get a chance to make a statement about not only can they score points, but they only allowed 7. And if it wasn't for the long run off the bobbled snap, they would have pitched another shutout tonight. So, around not only this district, but also around the state, they're serving a little bit of notice as we're going into week 10, and they'll have Thibodaux next week at Thibodaux, okay? And then it's on to the playoffs, and they're going to go in a very high seed on that 32-man bracket, in the non-select side.
Well, Wade, let's end it with this tonight. Your final, not only your final comments, but if you're Destrehan and this is a statement game, what type of a statement did you make tonight as to Destrehan Wildcats?
Hey, you're going to have to be pretty good on offense if you're going to score points and beat us. Mm-hmm. That's the statement, because these guys are really stout on defense, and defense can win you championships, and these guys can play some defense. So going into the playoffs, the notice is if I'm sitting there looking at it and I'm their opponent, I've got to find a way to move this football and score some points because, these guys can flat play on defense.
And if you're East St. John, look, this was not your best game tonight, but we saw a few flashes of brilliance and we knew Kylan Harris had much brilliance to flash, and we saw some by Joshua Mitchell, the quarterback. What does it say about them as they go in and get set for the playoffs? If they make it now, they're on the bubble.
They're on the bubble.
They're on the bubble.
I think they've got to come out and have a really solid game against St. Thomas More next week. If they can beat St. Thomas More, I think they'll give them what they need to be in. And then if not, they're going to go in as a hopefully they get in. They'll go in as a low seed somewhere. They'll travel somewhere the first week. But this is a good football team that can upset somebody, because they have team speed to do it, and team speed is a lot of what can cure you, all right, when you're ailing, okay? So they go back to work this next week. They get a good performance and pull off a win against St. Thomas More next week, and they can definitely get themselves one of those spots on the playoff bracket. Brandon Brown is doing a great job on building, like you said, bringing back the E. He's an East St. John guy. He is a St. John the Baptist Parish guy, and he's the right guy for that job, and he's going to build a good program.
And what is Marcus Scott telling the kids right here?
Hey, we got
Destrehan.
What he's telling them is we've got to get back into work tomorrow, clean up the mistakes that we made tonight, and get ready for Thibodaux next week, and then the playoffs after that.
Well, that's going to wrap it up from here at Destrehan, and I want to thank everybody for joining us here at Crescent City Sports for this game between Destrehan and East St. John. Crescent City Sports will have more high school football for you tomorrow as Jesuit takes on H.L. Bourgeois at Joe Yenny Stadium. Airtime will be just before the 5 p.m. kickoff. And be sure to visit CrescentCitySports.com for all of the latest news on our streams and schedules. For Wade Kaiser and our Crescent City Sports production team, which is Chip and Matt Merritt on production, Rick Thompson is our spotter, Wade, our analyst. I'm Ken Berthelot. Once again, your final score tonight is the Destrehan Wildcats remain undefeated now at 5-0 on the year with a 38-7 win at home over East St. John. From Destrehan, Louisiana, good night, everybody.